Boom. A boom, 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 boom. We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Miss T. How are you? Miss Juanita is in the building. How are you? I'm just doing some work here tonight. Just thought I'd check in, say hello. Yeah, I know. Late night demonstration. Yeah, you know it. You know it. But I come back here. Been working with my brother, Mr. Boss Man Blake. Him and I have been doing some collabing and putting together a few things. I said, let me go live, check in with my folks, see how everybody's doing. Hopefully you all had a good week. I know I did. It's been busy though. It's been busy. Got a couple of things going on with the car. In the car, yes, in the car. Got a number of things going on with the car. You remember that, right?
Woo, get in the car.
In the car. That's right, because you know what we got to do? We got to
Get your food.
That's it. But you got to get in the car first. Let's see who else we got in here. E. King is in the building. 1205. Shindia Ellison is in the building. All right. What y'all doing up so late? Late. You know, the workers, we're never late. We just work. Much love to everybody. So what y'all been up to? It's been a crazy week. It's been an absolutely crazy week. You know, with that, what's his name? Danilo dude, the escapee from Pennsylvania prison. After 14 days, they caught him. I'm like, what is this guy? A Houdini? He kept those people out there 14 days before they got him. Unbelievable. But they got him. You know, you get the U.S. Marshals out there looking for you, they will find you. And they will not give you any Cheez-Its either. No, so he's on his way back to a much more secure prison now. Maximum security. So he's being processed. Yeah, she is. Miss Justice is in the building. Hey, hey. How you doing, love? Good to see you. Yeah, the dog got him. They didn't give credit to the dog. Miss Carol Smith is in the building. Look at that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Good to see you. Charlene Green is in the building. Hey, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, so he won't be getting out anytime soon. They had to catch him. They had to catch him. They had a lot invested in catching him. I mean, resources like you would not believe to get this guy. But when you get the federal law enforcement called the U.S. Marshals after you, that's a done deal. It reminded me of the movie U.S. Marshals with Tommy Lee Jones and Wesley Snipes. And that's how they work too. I mean, they literally stay on the ground and chase you down completely. And the way they handled that situation, the first time, he got through with rolling off the property in a van right past them. And I'm going, do they see what's happening? And sure enough, they caught wind of it. Cold Pepsi is in the building. Candy Richardson is in the building. Yeah, so that they portrayed that movie of the United States Marshals going after Wesley Snipes, which was excellently played by both actors. Critical roles, obviously, he was innocent of what they tried to blame him for. And they got the hound dog, Tommy Lee Jones, the infamous Sam Gerard, and his team went after him. And they got him. And just like they got good old Danny Boy, but for him to be 5 foot tall, I think, 120 pounds, they're chasing a midget. But they got him though. I figured, it was taking long and night after night after night after night. I said, wait a minute. I said, he must have had some help. He's probably across the border, for all the business that he was handling. So, to my surprise, I was woken up by a text message about a little after 8 that they got him. I said, what? They got him. They got who? Who? They got Danny, the dog. Well, obviously, the tracking dog got him. Most certainly, so yeah, they're going to keep him, Miss T. They're going to keep him. He did bad business over here in the United States. He also did bad business where he came from, but he got out of there. And he came to the United States. So now he did bad business here. No, we're going to keep him. The South American folks don't mind either. You got a lot of stuff going on. So he's going to serve his time for the crime he did here in the United States. So, and he's got a life sentence anyway, so for doing what he did. But other than that, you got that going on. You got migration going on in our country like you would not believe. I was sharing that information earlier with my brother Boss, and we were sitting here looking at a couple of things, and I said, would it be good to do a live on this? Kind of bring people up to speed, to stay vigilant wherever you live. I'm here in New York, so the city has got the problem. I'm upstate, but the city has got the problem. They have an influx of illegal aliens, illegal immigrants coming into the city. And the mayor is sounding off, not enough resources, not enough money, not enough locations. And the governor is trying to get funding from the federal government to try to cover what deficits, they have on the books. As it stands, Texas has got the same problem. Chicago now has the same problem. Massachusetts has got the same problem. Arizona has got the same problem. California has always had that problem. So this is starting to pick up some ground. And I don't know where everybody is actually from. I know where a few of you are from, but I'm wondering if that's happening in your state or anywhere in the city in which you live. Marley 13, how you doing, love? Good to see you. So, yeah. Andy, do you know what his defense is? He pled guilty to insanity because he's guilty. Yeah, so I'm not here alone. yeah, I got some company, and my company is none other than my brother, Mr. Bossman Blake, is in the building. Oh yeah, what's up, boss?
Man, what's happening? What's
Hey.
happening? What's crack-a-lacking, man?
Yeah, just thought we'd go live and check in and touch base with some folks. I know
True.
that that story with the manhunt, looking for good old Danny Boy is now over, and other things are starting to pick up. I'm surprised they're still working on the Idaho 4 case, that Colbert guy, that was allegedly responsible for killing the 4 college students out in Idaho.
Right. I remember that case.
Yeah, that's still brewing. Then you got I was just talking about the illegal immigration problem starting to pick up some wind on social media. They're not talking too much about it, in mainstream media, because they never really talk about the facts about anything. It's more of a news show rather than investigative reporting. To me, that's generally what I look at it to be. Just a show where they dress up real good, get their hair done, throw a little makeup on, and sit up there and look like puppets trying to walk you through maybe a 2-minute story bit that they did until people, would consider going to the bathroom for a break.
What's
I
up to
don't know,
everybody?
man.
Salute to the chat. I'm just want to speak to everybody. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Yeah, so we just was covering that. There is and I want to thank Carol for sending me an update. We just got finished reviewing the update on let's see if I can grab it.
West Boys.
Yes, our boys. Most certainly. Let's see if I can grab it up here and share it with you guys. We got an update on the West Boys. They had court was in session. Some new developments are coming out of that particular case. And let's see, go ahead and screen share it. Bring up the speed. Kind of piss some people off. But that sometimes happens, especially when people are not prepared. But the defense came to court and laid down in front of the judge in reference to a sentencing date. And they requested that the judge postpone the sentencing date for the day that they were in court for another date, meaning that they weren't prepared. Any rebuttal? I don't know if prosecution had made mention of not cooperating with it, but they weren't delighted, let's just say. So bringing that up, thank you so much, Carol. As always, you and Miss Justice keep me on my toes.
Appreciate you, Miss Justice.
Oh yes, definitely. So yeah, this was the article that came out on kget.com. And this was posted on September 13th, 6 p.m., about 6:08 p.m. And I'm going to open this up. Got to get to it and play it for you.
Hearing for Trezell and Jacqueline West the adoptive parents of two little Bakersfield boys who disappeared some 3 years ago. The defense today asking the court to postpone sentencing for the couple, and the judge honored that request. 17's Michaela Armstrong was in court this morning and joins us now with the latest in this high-profile case. Michaela, good evening.
Good evening, Jim. Well, as you can see behind me, it's pretty quiet outside of the courthouse today. But earlier this morning, it was a different story, because when those who are close to the case found out that the sentencing for Trezell and Jacqueline West would be postponed, they had immediate reactions.
They sit up in here and act like they just the parent of the year? No, they murderers. They murderers. They animals. Trezell and Jacqueline, y'all animals, okay? Tell us what the babies are. No deal, nothing.
Emotions ran high after it was decided in court Wednesday that sentencing for Trezell and Jacqueline West would be postponed to September 28th for defense attorneys to provide more information to the court. In May, a jury reached verdicts on 5 of 7 charges after a weeks-long trial. The couple were accused of murdering their 2 adopted sons, Orrin and Orson West, who went missing in 2020. Jurors found the couple guilty of murder for the death of 4-year-old Orrin and child cruelty for 3-year-old Orson's death. Now they face life terms in prison. The boys' bodies have not been found. That is why the news of the delay in sentencing the couple drew an immediate reaction from many.
We have to relive this every time we come to this courtroom. Every time. This is a reliving. You know, the mom, the dads. This is hurtful stuff, and people need to take, if it was your children, including the judge, including whoever is behind whatever, they need to realize this could be your kids, and you will feel the same way that we feel.
Family and friends of the boys' biological parents fear it could be postponed again and feel they must continue to make their presence felt to ensure that does not happen.
Oh, we don't sleep without thinking about it. We're waiting for justice. We're not leaving. We're going to be here every day. Every time they have court, we're here. No matter if we got to take off, no matter what, we are here. That's applying pressure. Our presence is applying pressure, period.
Those I spoke to told me the sentencing does not bring them closure, but finding out where the boys are will. Live from downtown Bakersfield, Michaela Armstrong.
So they postponed it because they have more information to provide? Is that what I heard? You're on mute in case you didn't know. Salute everybody in the chat.
Yes. Yeah, they have to cover that additional information, whatever it is, you know. And these postponements, I mean, it's a sentencing. They've been found guilty.
Exactly.
You know, they have life sentences. So what's so hard to get a date? And what's so hard? I guess, you know, there's, I don't know.
You would think after they've been charged, it's nothing else should be presented unless there's an appeal or something like that. So
Right.
What other information are you trying to give us? That's irrelevant at this point.
It is. It is, and it's frustrating as hell, especially after what these two people put a lot of people through.
Right.
A lot of people through. Just getting through the court, the trial, you know, searching for the boys. They're still searching for the boys. And they still won't open their mouths knowing exactly what the hell happened.
Yeah. They're not. I mean, I don't know. Just like you heard Rose say, you know, no deal. Just tell us. You know, at this point, you know, do you think if there was a deal offered, they would say something?
Oh, I mean, you know, it would all depend on what the prosecution would grant them, you know. if there would be anything on the table, and the only two charges that were pending for further prosecution is still being processed as well. But they got the murder charge under wraps, felonious cruelty under wraps, falsifying a police report under wraps.
Yeah, I understand, what they were saying, I guess you can call it the press conference. Like, understand what you're doing to this family. You know what I'm saying? They have to relive this every time they go to court. They have to look at these people every time they go to court. And
absolutely,
you got to imagine how these people feel and what they want to do to them, So,
right.
Yeah. But
so
that's the court system.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you got Kern County. Good old Kern County. Hurry up and wait. That's what it's been since December of 2020. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. And just like we said, when they actually finally arrested him, like, what took y'all so long? We knew who did it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? What took you so long,
Right. Right. So, I mean, if the defense doesn't have a door to open up, they really don't. It's just a matter of getting the sentencing down officially on paper and getting them started. Their life is over. Life is over.
And it should. And it should.
So I wanted to put that on the table. I know that some of you have responded to a video post I had on my channel. And it's just one view from 1,000. And it was just stuck up there. Mr. Boss Blake helped me to put that together. And it was a short interview snippet that was taken from the Real True Crime MTV Catfish whatever program in 2019 when Bree decided to, I guess, tell whatever part of her story as to what she had experienced during the time Kanika Jenkins went missing. Have y'all seen that? Type a 1 in the chat if you've seen that recent last video posting I had put up concerning that very short interview. Let's see how many people saw it. See how many people saw it. And big shout out to Boss Blake for putting that together. He was very careful not to get, not to include information that would cause my channel any kind of trouble for posting it. But you know me, I took a chance. I said, I'm gonna post it anyway. I'm gonna post it anyway. Let's see. If I get in trouble, we'll know for sure. We'll know for sure. If you haven't, well, we'll be able to share that with you tonight. Hello, Miss Marty is in the building. How you doing? Good to see you. Raw is in the building. Look at all these people out here tonight.
Late night.
Curious Georgia is in the building.
Late nighters.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna share that with you if you haven't caught it. It's interesting to see it is better.
Yeah, it is.
But you're gonna get going to basically throw out a copyright automatically because it's content that belongs exclusively to the real true crimes people that put it together and did it. So I said, well, maybe we can use the audio. And boss said, oh, not only can we do that, but I got a picture. Yeah, so we'll share that with you right now. And for those folks that are joining us, much love to you. Jennifer is in the building. Hello, Miss Jennifer. We were just talking about the boys. I just shared some information about the recent court appointment for the postponement. So showed the news article, KGET News, and Roro was not happy at all. I wasn't either. You know, delay. You know, they know what they did. Tell us where the boys are. You know, you had your trial. You've been found guilty. The jig is up. Bring the boys home. Give them the proper burial and service that they need. They just won't do it. And they look just, in the courtroom, they look just like they looked during the trial. Just emotionless, expressionless, if you will.
Right.
Absolutely crazy.
Okay.
Absolutely crazy. So, but yeah, I think it's postponed until the end of this month. And then they're going to come back to court to see what the deal is. Get it off the table, I say. That's just me. Get it off the table already, you know. But let me see. Also, I got an update on the Daniel Robinson case I'm going to share with you tonight or this morning. I got to keep saying tonight. This morning.
Smyrna.
This morning. This morning. So let me see where I have that. I can actually pull it from my channel and load it up. Okay. And get the volume just the way I need it so you can hear it. You know, you gotta do it. We're gonna do it. I'll bring it up, open it up, and then go ahead and share it. So yeah, for those that have not seen it, you're about to see a portion of it. This is one of Kanika Jenkins's friends who came out in 2019 after a 2-year wait to decide to say something for the very first time. And this interview that was conducted from the network, the Real True Crime Network, was folks were able to convince or persuade her to come out and just say what her side of the story was, what happened, what she feels happened, you know. So here it is. It's only a couple of minutes long, but I was in the back. Let me see. I was in the back of them, standing behind them when Roro was talking. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's September 28th now. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, September 28th. We're going to deal with the 28th now. So that is Thursday, September 28th.
2 weeks from now.
Yep. Yep. There's that brief interview, Brianna. What was her last name, boss?
Man, don't get me
It's been a while since we've worked this case.
Brianna Mays? Is it Mays?
Maze, yeah, Maze. Right. Definitely. I knew it was one of the months, not June's, but Maze. Yeah. So let's see what she's got to say about what she shared regarding Kanika.
What do you think when you look at this picture?
The day I went on prom. But she was so happy. You see how she's smiling.
In order to shed some light on that fateful night, I managed to get an interview with someone who was actually there.
Why did it mean so much to Kanika that you were going on prom?
Because she didn't get a chance to go.
Bree is Kanika's best friend and helped lead the initial search for her at the hotel. This is the first time she's speaking publicly about that night.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, really?
Scene 2, take 1.
Can you talk to us about when you first realized Kanika was missing?
I asked Maya and Monifa where she was at. They just said she was somewhere drunk. So I took it that she probably went downstairs to use the bathroom or anything. Time got to going back. I'm like, she still ain't back. So that's when I got the presentation, like, we need to go look for her. We searched parking lots. I knocked on people's doors. The security guard tried to tell us we had to get out the hallway, but I told him that we wasn't getting out the hallway until we found her.
Did you ask security to help you find her?
Yeah.
What did they say?
He didn't even want to show us the cameras.
How did you feel? Did you still feel like it's probably nothing?
No. I know her, I know Kanika, so I was scared. Like, I was crying because I just knew that, like, what could she been? She don't do this type of stuff, so I know she wasn't nowhere else, so it had to been something. How did she end up in the freezer?
You got any thoughts on that?
I don't know what to think about that. I know she ain't put herself in the freezer, though.
She didn't put herself in the freezer, though.
She kept it basic.
Yeah, she kept it very, very tight. Extremely tight. Like, there's not a lot I know that I can tell you, but I do know. You know, I mean, that's the kind of vibe she gave me during the interview. You know, when you can actually go to Real True Crime, to their website, and look up the episode. I think they did a series of episodes, whether there were 2 or 3. They were divided and spaced out and had everybody glued to finding out what they had found out regarding this. But we pretty much knew well beforehand everything that they talked about. We knew more than that.
Right.
You know. And they should have had, yes, I agree. They should have had Monifa. They should have had Irene. Irene should have, you know, the way she came out on, she is pissed too. The way she came out online and tried to tell her story, you know, as to what happened. Well, she had her opportunity to go on the show and say it in a way to where obviously she wasn't going to be cursing and all that other stuff, but give her side of the story as to, you know, how she got invited to the party.
She chose not to.
Yeah, she chose not to. She'd rather get online and tell people sideways as to, you know, what her version of what happened to Kanika was all about. You know, she's the one who stayed. She's the one who came back and looked. Yeah. Where was Monifa? Where was Bree? Where was Shemaya? Why didn't they come back with Teresa to look for Kanika where they left her? I found that strange in and of itself. Straight up. Straight up. But yeah, they should have, most certainly. If Monifa had something to say about what happened to Kanika, she had the opportunity. It seemed like nobody wanted to talk. I mean, Zach was there. He took on a part of the interview.
I think they didn't want to go up there and say the wrong thing. You know what they dealt with in the beginning of it. You know, everybody accused them of having something to do with it, and some people still do. I was one in the beginning who thought so. It's just when they went back and forth with these lives, and you know, they told a lot of contradicting stories. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people looked at them like that. You know, you say one thing in the beginning and say something, you know, a few years later. This is a traumatic event. You don't forget the events that happened that night. You won't.
Right.
Some people say, well, they were, you know, geeked up on pills, drinking alcohol. They told the story. They told a story. They told a story.
Oh yeah.
Was it the true story? I don't know. Something was a lie.
Something. I'm seeing if I can find that specific video.
I feel you on that, B Hunt. I felt the same way. Like that episode was almost useless.
I know.
The only thing you could go off of is her demeanor. That's the only thing I could go off of. Like, she knows something.
Yeah.
She knows something.
Let's see if let me see if this is it. Because this is interesting. You know, how she tried to portray, you know, all the things that, you know, she did, she didn't do, she, you know, who she was not really trying to point the finger at, but, you know, she was trying to get back at, I guess, Monifa for, you know, coming out sideways on her. But this is just a piece of it here. See if this is it.
I'm back because you want the Monifa stats. Y'all got me fucked up. First of all, it wasn't for me. Kanika be here. It won't be here. She'll still be here, bitch. If it wasn't for Monifa, she'll still be here. Cause if all my friends 10 toes, if any of them drunk, I'm dropping them off right then and there. I'm not waiting. Fuck you talking about. Then on top of that, I'm not leaving my friend unattended drunk. No way, no how, no form of fashion. No way, no how, no form of fashion. Fuck you talking about. And then you on this bitch talk chasing Monifa. They talking about some, they saying your name. Bitch, they ain't saying your name, they saying my name. My name being dragged in the dirt. I'm the motherfucker in the middle of this shit because of you. Fuck you talking about, bitch. You on here.
Oh, so that's why you didn't go to the True Crimes Real TV show, because you felt you wanted to make your way this way. Fuck you talking about.
You want you, bitch. You want the clout. That's what you want. That's what you looking for. The clout. Ain't shit happened to you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Your name ain't been dragged in the dirt. None of that. It's me, bitch. Stay on here talking to me. If it wasn't for me, Kanika still be here. Bitch, you left her drunk in the hallway by herself unattended, a fake ass friend. That's what you did. You left her unattended, and remind you told me out your own mouth, Monifa. Yeah, Kanika gone. Where she go? She I tell your ass, go look for her. How did you lose her? That was within 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds, did you go back? No. You stayed and partied. Fuck you talking about? You got me fucked up. I'm not gonna keep pushing up for you bitches. Neither one of y'all. You and Maya left her, but I ain't you. It's you right now. It's about you right now, Monifa. It's all about you right now. Fuck you talking about since you going making statuses and Tiara, I will beat your ass. I will beat beat the fuck out you. I don't want to talk to you, period. Ain't nothing to talk about. And then I'm trying to get them.
Every time I hear this, I think about the song, bro. I can't
Yeah,
help
you
it.
think about the video you put together. Oh, that's classic. That is classic. And for her to say that, you know, it's like, I don't know, it gave me the impression that when Monifa left Kanika in the hallway to come into the room, we were squeezing that timeline down to a point to where we believed that there was a group that showed up on the 9th floor at that time.
It was. And you know, that's why
it's crazy.
The story, it gets mangled right at this point right here where she's talking about Monifa, you was the last one to see her in the hallway. And then you hear that she walked inside with Shamaya. And they left her outside by herself. But I can't find the truth between the two. But if Monifa was the last one to see her in the hallway, and just like she told that story, she said Monifa came in the room right after me and said Kanika missing.
Right.
How is that possible? She was just out there. So she just disappeared while she was there, just came inside and told y'all she missing.
Right.
That just didn't add up. So I couldn't run with that.
I don't know. You know, in my mind, and I want to say, how you doing, Chloe? Cassie's in the building. Loyalty and betrayal. Yeah, so, you know, in my mind at that time, I'm saying, well, wait a minute. Were they told to go back into the room? Could they have been told to go back in the room and use that going back into the room for the keys and the phone as an excuse to go back into the room?
So what
you know, because that time is just so tight from the time that that group showed up. I think it was, oh man, what was it? Smacks group with Hollywood and
the Funny Five is what I call
the funny, that crew. You know, they seem to have crossed that timeline at the time Kanika was left in the hallway.
Yep.
Well, it don't take two people to go get phone and keys.
Exactly. So, you know, you try to compare what Shamaya said versus what Monifa said versus what Irene said, and it's a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're like, come on with the bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Like y'all, none of y'all had the same story. None of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. They're all over the place. One just covering their own ass, you know. But out of all people, this being Irene's birthday party at the Crown Plaza Hotel, Rosemont, Illinois, why it was selected beats me, but these people showed up. These people showed up to a bedroom, a hotel room. Think about that room again. 2 beds, 1 big ass room, 1 bathroom, all those people, about 30, at least 30 people, give or take. All different areas of Chicago coming from the West to come to a closed room party to smoke and drink. Is it? I don't know. That bothered me too. It bothered me too. That made no sense. Go someplace else for a damn party. You go to a room, a hotel room. How much partying could you do there? But they did.
It was lame. That party was lame as hell.
But they did. Yeah, all of them lied. Well, shit, you're going to cover your ass. I ain't had nothing to do with that. That wasn't my friend. I don't know her, and all this other stuff. She drinking out of one thing, then she drinking out of a cup, then it's a bottle, then it. Oh, man. All over the place.
Yeah, real shit.
All over the place. Then you read the police reports, which are narratives more so than anything else, but narratives, conducted non-custodial interviews that were conducted for the people that they could locate and find for those narrative interviews. They didn't find CC, the Uber driver, the bull dagger, whatever 54 Keys call a bull dagger. Said, yeah. They didn't interview her.
They couldn't find her.
Yeah, and she was in and out like everybody else. Outside of Bree, leaving him right away to go to the front desk, then going to the bathroom, then going back to the front desk, coming back upstairs, having a cup, then leaving again to go to the back of the hotel, come back with a cup of something, to come back upstairs to the room, to leave again with Mike, and Cece. And doesn't come back until Kanika's missing. So she really had not too much to say.
That was one hell of a coincidence that she came back right after she went missing, right?
Yeah.
Well, she got back, 321, 326, something like that. Like, that was just minutes after she went missing.
Yes.
And that's why I feel like, some people felt like she was somewhere at that hotel still, and she was where they placed Kanika. And I understand why people thought that, because the timing was just crazy.
Yeah, I honestly did. I honestly thought that her, Mike, and Cece decided to go out the front. When we know that Cece came in the back with what's his name, the guy Howard, the one who passed away, and I think it was somebody else. Cassie would know. She know everybody. She know all the names and everything. She did great research in getting the names of all those people. And I said, oh, well, God bless her.
Yeah, she said Bree was all about getting the money. But
however that worked out. Whatever she did, however that worked out. But I never believed that GPS story. She had to leave because she had the GPS on her phone. And now what? Mike was on his phone and he didn't have a GPS?
Yeah, that was a weird excuse on why she had to go, but
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, so and to think of it, 6 years now?
Yeah.
There were a number of people that passed away.
Yeah, a lot. A lot. Somebody did a video about all the people that passed away. That shit was just crazy, man.
I think it was Cassie. Cassie covered that.
She said Obama phone didn't have a GPS.
Didn't have a GPS, yeah.
Well, damn.
No shit, but
Obama should just ran you over, backed up, ran your ass over again. Take that man's name off them phones.
Trevante Howard, thank you. See, he passed away. That's right. Trevante Howard passed away. Mike Tate passed away. CC was never to be heard from again. But then again, I think Cassie was able to get an update on post, the event of a few postings that were made. But other than that, nothing came from her. And then to hear Irene here doing this live that she decided to do to try to tell her side of the story rather than tell the right people, she decided to jump up here and start running her mouth.
Come back with me to the party, to go to the hotel to come search. Did neither one of them bitches come? No. Fuck you talking about I went to the hotel by my motherfucking self and go help and look for my friend. Did y'all do it? No, y'all stayed back to mess with. I'm laughing at her. I'm laughing at the fact that you, Tiara, I'm laughing at you because you started yelling what you gonna do and ain't did shit. My window wide open and you ain't touching bustin' boo with your fake tough ass. Bitch, you ain't like that. Got me fucked up. That's what I was laughing at. You. That's why the laughing part come at you. And I'm gonna laugh at you again. Next time I'm knocking your ass out. Fuck you time out. Fuck, bitch. It's that when I see you. I don't trust you. You hang with her enemies. fuck you talking about? She don't like them people, but you hang with them. Yeah, did you tell me you said fuck her? She grown, all that? No. No, you didn't. That's your friend. That's your best friend. You so hurt, but you hang with her enemy. I don't give a fuck. It ain't my bitch, but I'll never talk to them people. You hanging with them people. You living with them people. I'm confused about you, baby. You got me fucked up. Fuck you talking about.
So now when she says this, she's saying something about Monifa. And she hanging with the ops. And I said, okay, I'm scratching my head. You know, so now is she tipping her hand? Is she tipping her hand here?
Well, I ain't gonna say that. I guess she felt like if they didn't like Kanika, why the hell is you hanging with him if that's so-called your best friend? I ain't saying she's saying that those people that she's speaking of had anything to do with it. I just feel like she had the right to say this. You don't hang with nobody that don't like your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if I don't know these people. I don't know the situation, but nah, man. So I don't think she said she was mad about stuff that ain't had nothing to do with the party or case. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, she's just blowing off to be blowing off. But when it came down time for her to step up, she didn't. That told me something.
Now my loyalty lays with my friends.
You the same person telling Bree
You
don't call her
tweaking.
mama.
Yeah, come after me. Don't call her mama, all that. Y'all trying to point the fingers at me. Got me fucked up. I'm 10 toes behind, 20, 1,000 behind Kanika. You got me fucked up. You tweaking. Fuck you talking about who? Mariah. She knew Kanika ain't like Mariah, but she hanging with her. That's who. You know who, because you come. Then
They took her. Monisha took her off to being drunk. She was laying on me. And they get crazy, we get wild.
Yeah, motherfucker know how I get. Ain't no motherfucker talk crazy yet.
Ain't nobody gonna play with nobody.
So, anyways, back to the party. We now she told me she finna get the phone. We watch bam. 2, not even 2. I want to say 30 seconds later, Monifa came in my face. Kanika missing. I looked at her ass. How the fuck is a grown lady missing? Go fucking find her. Did she go do it? No. Okay, party. The Lil Wayne song came on. Everybody turned up to that bitch. Then Shakara said, my sister.
Looking around, going to back.
I didn't come to the party with her. That's what I'm saying. Right or wrong, am I right or wrong? You making sure your car's safe. That's my friend. I made sure she was safe in the party, but outside the party, I'm not understanding how I'm gonna make sure she's safe if she leaving with the people she came with. I'm confused. I can't. I'll make sure me and my people safe.
Hey.
And Cold Pepsi's right. You know, if Irene was Kanika's best friend, why didn't she call the mother?
Right.
It's a good point, Cold Pepsi.
I mean,
it was all that. She stayed quiet. She didn't make the phone call. Give me the number. I'll call her. If y'all didn't want to call Teresa, at 4 o'clock, 4:30, whatever time it was that they called, give me the number. I'll call her because she needs to know what's going on.
I get what you're saying, Chloe. When she said they ain't gonna call her mom when they not sure. I'm gonna just throw that word in there that anything is actually wrong to make her worry. So I can understand that. You don't want the mother to worry when you just really start looking for her. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I can understand that. But when you use, and I think me and Chloe went back and forth about this shit, when you use the term missing that quick, that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
You come in, like you was just outside with her, let her tell it, and you come in and say, Kanika missing. You didn't say Kanika left. Kanika walked downstairs. I don't know where the hell Kanika went. She left. You say she missing.
Yeah, but how does she know that? How does she know that when she went in the room?
If you listen to what she said,
You know what I'm saying?
About 30 seconds later, she came in my face. Kanika missing. What? But you just came from out the door.
Oh man, it had my head spinning to try to tighten up that timeline from the time she said she went in the room until we hear that both her and Shemaiah go back in the room together.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. You hear that they both went in the room together. Then you hear that Shemaiah went in the room by herself, and then Monifa followed.
Right, according to the narrative, say yep.
So what makes sense if she actually went missing when they went in is they had to come in there together, because there's no way that Monifa will come in after Shemaiah and say Kanika missing. How? You walk from outside to inside where you were just outside with Kanika, and then you come inside and tell her she's missing.
Yeah, now I don't believe
what happened while you was outside with her.
Right. And I don't believe, Monifa did anything to cause Kanika to.
Of course not.
Perish.
No.
She couldn't have. She couldn't have. We saw her all night. We
to
saw her walking the damn hotel all night.
No, I don't think she did anything to her.
Yeah. But it was just that strange timing when that crew came in, when Smack's crew came in, and here you got a conversation that Monifa is having with Irene saying that Kanika's missing in a short space of time. I mean, you go figure that. Go figure it.
That's why I can't leave the hallway. I can't leave the hallway. That's what I stop at every time, because that's the most important part to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I like the stories get tangled. That's when the stories really get tangled up in the start. The story off is right there. Who left her in the hallway? Did y'all both leave her in the hallway, or did Monifa leave her in the hallway?
Right. Did Shemaiah go into the room first, which that was the impression I got. Shemaiah went in first, and then Monifa came in behind her.
Right. And because if that question can be 100% answered with nothing but facts, and it's the fact that Monifa went inside with her, then yeah, we don't know what happened to her after. But if Monifa came in after, oh, Monifa, you got some goddamn explaining to do. You got some explaining to do.
Right.
But I don't know.
I made sure she was safe until she searched after doors. That part was on Monifa now.
That was the last thing you said.
Y'all
be safe.
Then
They took her. Monifa took off to being drunk. She was laying on me. She said, "Come on, you lose sleep."
That's a very good question. So you figure if Smacks and them arrived, they were never caught on camera. But he seemed to have a camera and a phone in their face and a drink. Ty had his camera rolling, and it was there's a bunch of people in there.
I don't think they was in there when Ty was live.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, it just seemed like they showed up, but other than that, they left at near 4. They were one of the first groups to pull out the room, so they didn't stay very long. I'm not saying anything crazy about whether they had something, but it was just the time gaps in everything. So where did they go? What room did they go to if they went to that room? Just questions that I had at that time.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah.
And Cole Pepsi, you said, what happened to the guys in the hallway? That's another big question, because I definitely feel like some guys was in that hallway, when she went missing. I truly feel that way.
Yeah.
Do
Somebody
I
was
have
in
the
the
proof?
home.
No, but I truly feel some guys was in that hallway.
Yeah. Yeah. So she wasn't alone. For some strange reason, she just was not alone. I feel that still today. She was not alone. And how everything transpired from that point on was the craziest out of the whole story. You know, following her on video surveillance, you know, walking the hallways, apparently, you know, definitely out of it, all by herself, not a soul in sight, just so convenient to watch her walk those hallways in the way she did, and no one saw her. Cameras picked her up, but where was security? I kept asking myself, well, where's the security guy? He was in and out of the office. He was making his errands and running down, getting towels and all kinds of stuff. But he kept going back to the office, kept going back to the office, kept going back to the office. Like he had no time to stay in the office because he was moving around a lot. You know?
You see that? That's I mean, I don't know if I could fucking settle with one question.
It is crazy how law enforcement has been seeking justice for Natalie Holloway. Holloway since 2005, however, dropped the ball on Kanika Jenkins. Yeah, Kimberly.
I probably would ask who was in that damn hallway with you, Shemai. Who was in that hallway with y'all? I think that would be a question I would ask.
Yeah.
Sleep around everybody. No, hey, Ron, reason why I'm talking because the Monifa just delete the status. Gonna make a status, come out some MTV status saying my name. Ain't no, but your name not being said, period. Period. It's that me getting dropped to the light. Y'all ain't gotta walk my shoes. Y'all ain't gotta, when the next motherfucker walk up to y'all, is you Iran, you gotta worry about if they finna kill you or is they trying to see is it you. Y'all ain't gotta worry about that. I do. Then you on this bitch talking. Tiara. Tell that so it won't if I want she was trying to come to my lame ass party, she'll still be here. Monifa was invited, first of all.
Exactly, TK. As long as your friend, that's what we saying.
That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody. And first of all, if my friend drunk and she sleeping in the party, we're finna go.
Monifa the same. Let's
we're finna go.
Monifa the same.
We finna go.
Kanika on the stairs in front of her house.
The whole party supposed to end, but she didn't make it seem as if it was real. That she was missing. Fuck that. You still partying with us. And then after you say Kanika missing, then Shakara say, Irene, Kanika really not up in here.
I looked around.
This damn now 3 o'clock. 2 hours later. I'm confused. I ain't trying to hear shit. Nobody saying.
2 hours later.
Hey,
I'm not trying to hear shit. Nobody saying.
Just a little bit.
I looked around.
This damn now 3 o'clock. 2 hours later. I'm confused.
No. Didn't she say Kanika was laying on her?
Yeah, on the bed.
I'm trying to say maybe did she switch positions and lay some other way? Because I don't understand how the hell she didn't notice that Kanika was picked up off the bed or helped up off the bed and she didn't fucking notice that. I don't know. I don't know about that shit. No, that was me typing, Chloe.
Yeah, so it was Sakara said Kanika was laying on her.
Ain't that's who talking in the background?
Yeah.
Right. So she just said she looked around like Kanika really not in here. Like, where the hell were you at when she got up off of you?
When she got up out the room, right?
When she got off of you, where the hell was you at? You wasn't, man, stop.
Okay. I got where you're coming from. I see. Okay. Definitely. See,
what was your antennas?
Yeah, definitely.
Bruce, I ain't trying to hear shit. Nobody saying.
2 hours later.
I'm not trying to hear shit nobody saying, and I ain't even pointing no fingers at Monifa. I ain't because I'm tired of everybody. I'm just tired. Y'all don't understand. I'm motherfucking tired.
Who raised her?
I'm motherfucking tired. That's all. I'm motherfucking tired. Then her and her other people stay to me. How the fuck is it me? If I came with my 4 people, me, Tyler, Shakara, and Ernisha, and she came with Monifa, you wasn't invited. On my son, you know you wasn't invited because she asked me and I told you no. You was right there when I said no. I told you no. No, you cannot come. I was not fucking with you at the time. So don't act like I was fucking with you because I wasn't. You can vouch on my son. I said, no, you cannot come to my party.
You was ready.
John.
Then why did you allow her at the party? You sit right next to her.
Now, ask this question: like anybody in their right mind who watched the footage, you didn't even have to go to the party. Like, how could you point the finger at Irene? She ain't leave out that goddamn room. She left out the room to go get her some swishes in the beginning, and then she left when she left. Kanika was already missing. So how can anybody point the finger at her? I don't understand that.
Let me see who you talking to. Oh Lord, I got my face all up in here. Unbelievable. But now you listen to it years later, and you kind of pick up different vibes, you know. But to go back to especially these shout outs that they're doing online is very interesting. And this all came out after the Real True Crimes MTV episode came out. This is when all this stuff blew up. So the month of January 2019, if I'm not mistaken, all the stuff came out.
Yeah.
You fuck you come out. Then I played the sicko song. Okay, turn this off that shit off. I play sicko Maserati and Lil Durk. She turn this motherfucking weak ass op ass shit off. Y'all got this. Right, this was my plan to leave her sleep so she could, because Bri was gone. So I said, leave her right there. I said, leave her right there sleep because Bri gone. So who the fuck gonna drive y'all home? That's not safe to drive drunk. She was asleep. Monifa wanted to go because I played the op ass song, I guess. Whatever the fuck the case may be, they wanted to go. But
you know she was drunk. So all that they trying to say she ain't drunk and she only had a cup. Monifa,
wake up a drunk person and take them out the room.
Monifa saying she only had a cup. How she only had a cup and she was stumbling? She was stumbling.
And then for a motherfucker to be saying at the end, I left the hotel. On my son, I stayed in the hotel room and sat there for hours. I swear to God, for hours till 6 o'clock to make sure she come back and knock on the door. She never came.
No, Irene, it wasn't 6 o'clock.
It definitely was. Hey, she must be was stumbling.
Y'all stepped out about 4. Yeah, y'all stepped out about 4. What was it? 4:34. There's a group of y'all that went out the front door.
We never seen Kanika stumble. So the live was over when she stumbled. That might have been the time she stumbled and hit the lamp. I don't know.
Yeah, 4:34, left out the lobby. Yep. I know. They walked out with a group of people.
Shut up, Chloe.
One after the other, for Smacks and them to come from the back, enter the hotel from the back, but leave the front. Everybody was going out the front. Aside from there was a separate group, what was it? Tanasia's group left out the back. I think there were 5 girls there. They left early, before Kanika went missing. You had another group that was walking around meandering. It looked like they got lost, and then it went another way, and then that group left. There's another I think it was about a group of 5 or 6 guys. They went to the hotel desk, got a ticket, and then went down the hallway and left. Smack's group went to the front desk. There was a group of 5 there. Him and what was it? is it Pucky? Got the parking tickets. Needed parking tickets to get the car out, you know. Oh man. Interesting though. Interesting to look back on this. Tanasia, Alex, Judy, Dominique, Jazz left at 3:05. They had to pick up their babies. Right.
Came. Everybody left. So I left. Everybody. I inboxed Monique, but still got the inbox to this day. Did y'all find her? Fuck. No response. Fuck up out of here.
That's how we knew to come back up to the hotel.
I said Kanika didn't fuck with you, Mariah. So why is she hanging with you? And she know this. She know this for a fact. And you know this for a fact. You know that you was messing with Rico. You was messing with Rico, and y'all both messing with Rico, so y'all ain't fuck with each other. So the loyalty runs with your friend. I'm not trying to hear all that. Y'all wasn't into it, all that. She ain't got no business with you, period. Monifa knew what the fuck was going on. Just like when Mook was finna fight you, Kanika was out there finna help, and Monifa said she finna stab motherfuckers. What? The loyalty runs with my friend. I ain't saying I'm into it with y'all, but I never fuck with y'all because she didn't. Why the fuck? I'm confused.
Don't be too confused. Don't be too confused. So yeah, we got Cocky, Smacks, Jonathan, Wayne, Kobe, and Hollywood. And they came as a group. They came as a group and left as a group. Just found it very interesting at that 4:34 timing that everybody went out the front. Interesting. Nobody pressed security about it, as it was illustrated on the security surveillance footage. I mean, you know, Ty went to the desk. They did go to the desk once, but interacting with security, he just like walked past them, like you know, there was no interaction. Now, whether they were told, well, you have to talk to management about looking at the cameras. Hence the reason why they went to the front desk anyway to talk to them about it. And then they were told, well, we got to get authorization and all this other stuff, and done immediately to try to assist in their call for help. By the hotel, that is, by the hotel. I found that very strange. I found that very strange. Ooh. So yeah, so this was what Irene Roberts was all hot about right after that Real True Crimes episode, where yeah, you know, the guy did mention that he tried to reach out to her and he was unable to make contact, left a couple of messages, but she never returned the call to connect with him. No, what does she do? She waits till her name gets blasted on national TV in order to do this shit. now she want to say something. Yeah. So, but I wanted to share that a little bit of that video just to remind folks as to how things began to transpire after that, after Bree's interview with Real True Crimes.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's just too much. Just too much. Too much. What Shemaya said on her video was, I was like, okay, is she talking? Who's she talking to? Who was Shemaya talking to? She was outside in the hallway on the ground.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. And that Kanika wanted her mama and all this other stuff, and it was making me feel that, you know, she was really out of it.
Hey, Charlize.
Why the hell did they take her out the damn room if she was that out of it? What was the cause for Manisfa to take Kanika out of the room if she was laying down? See, and that's what puts a fingerprint on Monifa's name. And then she turns around and is like, oh, Kanika missing. I don't wait a minute. Whoa. You take her out the room. She's trying to sleep off the drink that she had been drinking, the Hennessy that they had in the bathroom. Yet you pick her up and take her outside the hallway and then come back and say she's missing? And that said to me, whoa, that ain't playing right. And it didn't play right for a lot of folks. Now, once again, not to say Monifa had something directly to do with Kanika's passing. No. But it was just quite odd. It was just quite odd. So, yeah. Well, we wanted to share that because there was a couple of posts. Let me see if I can find that. And I want to thank those that went to that video and left a little comment. Let me come back here.
I don't know where that baby is.
Yeah, there was the Lioness Survivor 5 days ago. I was obsessed with this case, and I watched a lot of people on YouTube videos on this, but this is the first time I actually got to hear Bree talk. She seemed the most sincere out of all of them. Shemaya was quiet, too.
She was the baby at the book.
Yes, but I seen little snippets of her. She seemed sneaky to me, just my opinion. Irene and Monifa doing lives arguing, which was crazy and dramatic, trying to play the finger game, pointing the finger game, but Bree was the most quiet. I think in one of the videos I seen, it said 3 out of 4 friends knew what was going to happen. Even at Kanika's funeral, I seen a screenshot of Bree bawling. Monifa was drunk and laughing. Irene or Shemaya wasn't there. Friends like that, who needs enemies? Sad. Irene claimed she was threatened. That's why she didn't go. If that was my friend, no threat's gonna stop me from going to my friend's funeral. Duh. The fuck?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You talking about Chicago?
Yeah, definitely. Smiley 1120. I know everyone wants to blame everybody, but I believe her. I want the whole interview. So do I. So I followed this so much, I dreamt about it. I would really like to hear something that actually makes sense. It's sad to say we may never know. Crazy thing is that I watched Irene's live that morning because it was hella early and didn't know what I was watching until the shit hit the fan. She was definitely nervous and jittery. Yeah, she was nervous and jittery. Her name got thrown out there on national TV.
And they were geeked up at the funeral?
She was hot. She was hot.
God, man, they couldn't wait till after the funeral to get drunk.
Yeah.
God damn.
Cassie said, I'll go get it from the producer. Hold on, wait.
She said they was geeked up and drunk at the funeral.
At the funeral. Turned up.
They all in God's house.
Serious.
Man, I gotta go to bed.
Oh, man.
Well, goddamn. Hell no. I believe you. Shit. I believe you. Drunk at the funeral. But yeah, man, I appreciate you having me, John, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get in this bed, man. I got work in the morning.
Oh, definitely, man. Thanks for hanging out and helping me with the intro and putting together some stuff and everything else like that. Much love to you. Yeah, get that rest, and and I got my word in for you tomorrow. Got my word in for you tomorrow. Holla at me. Let me know. Let me know what to say.
All right, man. I'm going live tomorrow because I know who did it.
I know you are. You better.
I'm bullshit. I'm going. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy, man.
All right, boss. Oh, man. I'm going to do this real quick. Oh, Lord. I just had to get that off my chest. We were just sitting here talking about it. I'm gonna do this and drop the link. I'm going to drop the link. So, Cass, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. Now, anybody else want to come up, you're more than welcome too. I'm not just inviting one. I'm just cutting up, but still speaking facts. No, I hear you. You've always spoke facts. You've always spoke the facts. All the deep research you've done, we all did. We all did. We just, had our different ways of getting information and just trying to put it out there as best as we could. Best as we could. Perception is played a very important part. It's not easy because we're not law enforcement. It's not like something we did every day since that case. That was my very first case. That was my very first case, and there was collaboration. What I wanted to do was collaborate with other content creators, and I had a number of them come on my channel and just share their insight, share their perceptions with me. And some did, most of them did. And then a good group of them stayed the hell away from my channel because I'm not about the drama. Never been about it. Won't be about it either. At all. At all. There we go.
I had to change devices because boss says that I echo on his live. But I don't echo on none of the Chicago guys' lives, but okay.
No, you're not echoing now, so you're good.
Yeah, because I changed devices just in case, but
okay.
on my little Chromebook. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you and boss have talked a lot behind the scenes, but for those that don't maybe comprehend me cutting up in the chat, it's just I spent we stopped counting like at 4 years into it how many hours of real research that myself had put into it, as far as taken away from my family and everything else, and a lot of other people did so as well. And at that point, we had come up with almost 40,000 research hours. That's not watching YouTube or hanging out in groups. That's real research, which is the only reason why I've gotten as far as I've gotten. But I never, ever thought that I could see myself stepping away into other cases. But I can tell you now that I have, even though I still keep one foot in with the Kanika community, I still have all my groups and all that. I can tell you that seeing comments and hearing statements from the community, it shows a lot of things like concern for the next mankind type thing, but it also shows naive and gullibleness, and like then we always going to have the crazies, like people are still trying to bash Teresa, saying the lawsuit's not real, even no matter how many updates I give on it. For everybody,
Right.
just so y'all know, last I looked, was a week ago, whatever it was. She has a hearing scheduled in October, about the same time FPG Ducks case will be going to trial. So yes, it's still going on. They're still in litigations.
Right.
And again, I'm gonna say it again because I say it every chance I get. One of the few times I kind of do the "I told you so," but the lawsuit is $250 million. It's $50 million per entity. I had that verified and validated through what's your girl's name? I just lost her name. Kenny's baby mama. You know what I'm talking
about? Oh Lord.
Starts with I think it starts with an L. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. When she went on Clubhouse with Jedediah. I've got the recording of that on my channel, and she said it point blank. It's not 50 million. Everybody got that wrong. The media got it wrong. She says it's 50 million per entity. Now, no, they don't think that they're going to walk away with that kind of money, but what they are hoping will happen, their best case scenario. Now, I don't see it happening, but what they're hoping for is that by doing the lawsuit the way that they are doing it, they've rejected offers that have come to them. They rejected it because they wanted to go to trial because they're hoping that some piece of evidence, something that maybe nobody knows about, might get forced to be brought out in the civil court. And if it's something of significance, then that will be the door opening into a criminal courtroom. Right, but as of right now, they have there's no doorknob on the door to the criminal courthouse for them. There's nothing there that they can do to go pursue any charges criminally.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's a very slow process, but yeah, I kind of figured that use it to their advantage. At
least 5 years. Jeffrey said it'll be at least 5 years, and he took over at the end of 2018, early 2019. So, to me, I'm looking at it like, well, it's right on schedule for what he said. But as far as like anybody's opinions on how their mannerisms, their behavior, they're weird. I don't understand that. Look, I still don't understand it, but what I can tell you, for Chicago, that is the norm.
Facts.
Right.
That's just
how you doing, Kimberly?
I'm well, and you?
Hello, Miss Wilson.
Doing good. Glad you can hang out with us a bit.
First, I want to just thank you all for this awesome panel.
Well, thank you.
Y'all read my baby daddy off, but okay.
And I couldn't remember, but can you confirm, was alcohol found in Kanika's toxicology report? Because I don't think it was, but I can't remember.
0.12.
So they deemed her drunk then, right?
Well, she would be under the influence if she was driving. Now, what I did personally for myself, because again, everybody's levels are different. Kanika had a history of partying, so it wasn't like this was a first time thing. Right. What I did, and I encourage y'all to do it. You can do it right here on YouTube, and you can search BAC, which is blood alcohol content. And what I did was I put in the 0.12 on there, and it took me a few times of trying because it'll give you all these other little numbers or whatever. But I found this is how people, they had a man, they had a woman, they had people of different ages. It was a group. They were doing like a little test thing, whatever, to see how people acted after certain different levels of alcohol, and they used, like I said, different age groups and males and females, because like they say, the females are supposed to hit us faster, harder, whatever. And to be at the level of alcohol that Kanika had in her system, that was not the effects of what we saw her doing in the footage.
Right. Absolutely, I agree. There were, how many drugs was in her system? Was it a couple? And
the only thing that was according to the medical examiner on the toxicology was topiramate.
Right, that's right. Seizure medicine.
They had topiramate is actually prescribed for like 500 and something different reasons. Actually, there's a lot of people in this community. A lot of them don't admit it publicly, but they're on topiramate, and it's not for migraines. It's not for losing. As far as their prescription, it's not for migraine, seizures, or headaches, or losing weight, whatever. It's some of those other things. So topiramate is a very popular prescription that is given out pretty regularly around the country.
And another thing, Jesus, I just forgot what I was going to say. I got it. And we also have to understand that Chicago is a whole nother country. It's a country
whole
by
nother
itself.
planet
And we
within
talk
our
about
planet.
children who have PTDS.
The entire city has PTSD. I will agree with that. And I can say this as far as United States, if for no other reason, there's a lot of people in the United States that's never been to Chicago. They have it as well. I think a lot of it just has to do with the times changing.
It's the environment for sure. Definitely for sure.
But in
I even
Chicago,
lived in
I will say
Chicago.
they have it worse, because by the time they're entering pre-K elementary school, whatever, chances are they've already seen their first dead body.
Right.
More than likely, it's going to be somebody that was familiar to them. Things like that. Now, yeah, I mean, this past year has actually been a better year than the other years. But like right now, I've always done the other cases, but on my own, as far as researching them. But this past year, I've literally took a deep dive into actually putting them out on my platform, to the point where I've got people in Chicago that are members, that are OGs, things like that, that actually they invite me to their panel constantly, because even though I still have a lot to learn, what they enjoy and take from my content on my channel is that I put out just the facts as they are, whether I like them or I don't like them. It is what it is. Now,
as it should be.
When I get to some things like, and here's a perfect example, one of the more popular cases is the Jakira Barnes case, KI, that was killed in 2014. And everybody's always said King Von did it, King Von did it, King Von did it. And for the longest time, I believed King Von did it. But there was somebody that was there, an OG that was there, called me on the phone. He says, it wasn't him. Now, I didn't ask any questions because I don't want to push that bond that we have. A couple of weeks ago, I was working on Big A's case, and I put out a 2-part little mini documentary on that. When I did, one of the other victims that was there when KI got murdered was FBG Butta. FBG Butta turned around and was doing an interview, and right in the middle of the interview, it just fell out of his mouth. Apparently, he had watched my video, and he says, dude, I just seen the guy that shot me. I just saw his murder video, because I put out the surveillance footage of him getting shot. And that's how I got it confirmed that Big A was the one that actually shot Butta, and that, T-Roy was there, things like that. So to know that, feel that, I won't speak on it unless I've gotten some kind of confirmation, even though the cops still put it in the paperwork that Von did it. I'll read it that way, and then I'll elaborate, and I allow the public to, make their own decisions. Just like when they said that KI killed Odie Perry, it's impossible, because every single witness said the offenders were all 6 foot tall, and Jakira Barnes was 5'2". So you can't mistake that.
Right. She just was posing as taunting, but there's a famous YouTuber who's under a scandal now.
And Swiper, no swipey.
Exactly. And he had told the story. He had
let me put it like this, because I'm a small channel, and very few people actually listen to me or take what I say to heart. Way back, well over a year ago, probably close to 2 years ago, when I covered Laverick Marshall, Rara's case file, I told everybody then, Swiper gave the gun to the one that killed Rara. Swiper was talking to the popo then. Swiper's name is all up in this paperwork. Nobody listened to me.
Wow.
And that's been going on since 2010.
Wait, so you mean the guy that got released on a technicality for a murder charge, and he got killed? No. Not him?
No.
Okay.
The guys that they charged, there's 2 guys that they charged for the murder. Both of them didn't pull the trigger. Only one of them did, but they charged both of them basically. But Trenches is the one that actually gave the dude the gun, and then he got the gun back from him and got rid of the gun. Cops called Trenches in, questioned him several times, and never got the information as to where the gun is.
Wow.
So think about it on your own mind. You know, okay, if the popo done called you in, and they know that everybody said you're the one that gave him the gun, that makes you an accessory to murder after, whatever.
Yes,
Why were
conspiracy.
you not charged? Why were you not charged?
Allegedly, because he's you know what the word is.
Well, okay. On the 2010 case, it does not have him listed as a cooperator. It has him listed, just point blank listed as they got the gun from him and da 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 da. Okay. Since then, because Reddick loves pulling everybody's mugshots and criminal records, I've seen his criminal record. He's a woman beater. He's been charged numerous times for beating the crap out of women. He's even done penitentiary time for a little over 2.5 years for it. And that was just like the nail in the coffin for me, because I had already noticed, since I had already been educating myself on a lot of these cases, because I probably got over 1,000 of these guys' cases sitting on my computer. Okay. But listening to his stories, because I used to follow him, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what happened. And it, because the thing is, like I said, or like everybody's saying, how is it that you were there when K.I. got killed? How were you there when Modell got killed, and you warned Little P and which is Paris Steele, and Vaughn came up and talked to you, and now Vaughn's your buddy. Vaughn confessed to you, just like Jay Hood. Vaughn confessed to you. They're clout chasers.
Right.
They're embellishing the hell out of the story.
And you know what's so ironic with SWAT?
And then he wound it up last week when he left to go out to California to do the No Jumper interview. But the last video he did, he clowned the whole entire YouTube community by saying, the last 2.5 years that I've had my channel, which he started his channel, I'm the one that put that information out 3 days before Duck was murdered.
Yes, August 1st is when he started. You're absolutely
2.5 years, he says, I've made over $300 and something thousand. I'm still only getting $100 a month, and I bust my ass for that $100 a month. And I didn't even start getting that until my 3rd year into having a channel. And he's made in 2.5 years doing what he's doing, just embellishing stories. He's made over $250,000.
Wow.
Right.
Crazy.
I don't kick him, because not that I look at him as being a real street dude, like a shooter or anything, but a lot of these guys, like I'm a moderator for King Yella and a few other ones, they're not out there in the street anymore, because they've discovered, wait a minute, I can do my YouTube channel,
right,
become a blogger. What did J Main just made $20,000? Was it June or July? And it's been going up ever since then. Even as a street guy, you can't beat that when all you're doing is picking up your phone and talking smack to people on the internet.
Right, making legit income now. Absolutely.
That's a legitimate legal income. And if you take just only $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah, they got to pay taxes on it. Whatever. Okay.
Oh
fine.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
still,
No doubt.
I don't even have to pay taxes, because I don't make enough to pay taxes still. And John, get this. I've been releasing big information on this federal RICO Act, right? Reddick comes anytime I go live. I don't know who's doing it. They're in my bushes. They take screenshots and they release it all over the internet. And all these other channels are putting it on their channel, getting hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm still sitting over here with
it's their research content.
And you can see it. You can see where I typed in Dirk. You can see where I typed in. I didn't know the one guy's name, so I put Buddy in big old red letters. Yeah.
This is what you do. You put when you go live and all, you put it in subscriber mode only.
It is.
Oh, it is already? Okay.
Yeah. It's in subscriber mode.
Because they certainly jump up there and every opportunity, because they know where to get the information
Subscriber
from.
mode. Okay, look, a lot of people are confused. Subscriber mode is only to allow you to
comment. Right.
Like Mama Duck thought that subscriber mode meant that if you're not subscribed to me, you can't see it. Oh no, everybody can see it.
Right.
Nobody can be blocked anywhere on YouTube's platform from seeing anybody's content. Otherwise, that would prevent you from being able to see if somebody's stealing your content. You just can't talk on everybody's channel.
Yeah. It sounds like you need to strike those pages to me.
I've been down that road already in this Kanika community, and ultimately it just ain't worth it. You just end up with a lot more enemies than anything.
Back into the pages, yeah. Those were the
and
days.
you end up spending a week doing nothing but filling out reports. Right now, I got FBG Duck's cousin jumping on my platform and getting me to jump on his platform. So, I mean, and he's an OG. He's out there. He's pushing peace. And a lot of these guys, these younger ones are going against him, pushing peace. But he's been fighting it for decades. And yes, he did his dirt in his younger years. But like, I just saw a video of him a month ago. Literally, he got I don't know what to call it, a food truck. There we go. He's handing out free styrofoam plates of food to anybody that just walks up.
Wow.
He's giving back to his community, you know, so you can't argue that. And he just lost his son Halloween of, was it 21? Maybe. His son is a Fat Shorty.
Wow.
And the skinny that was with them when Fat Shorty's brother actually shot Skinny, the bullet went through Skinny and into Fat Shorty, and it killed both of them. So now, you know.
Oh, okay. The West Side, yes.
Ultimately, you know, Skinny was like an adopted son, you could say. So ultimately, he's lost 3 kids because 2 of them died and one's going, you know, is locked up. And it was over some nonsense. It wasn't over all this snitching and all that. It was just over people having too much to drink and having too good of a time and spilling a drink and making an accident, and things got said and people pulled out a gun, you know. And that's the sad part of Chicago. Because they do, like you said, they have PTSD. They also self-medicate. So when you start doing that at a young age, which includes all these kids that you saw at the Crown Plaza, they've all been doing the same thing. They've been self-medicating since they learned how to get to a pill, you know, because they don't know what else to do.
Right.
Majority of these kids, literally, I used to say it in my groups, but I see it even more now. These grown men in their 20s and 30s has not changed. They literally still have not gone past 3 blocks from their front door ever in their life.
Because they don't think they're going to make it out.
Well, I want to say this. Okay, a lot of them.
Sad.
A lot of them
very sad.
Have never like put their money away and got a car, because for me, I want a car with a carburetor. You know what that means? That means it's an older vehicle, because I like to work on those engines more than your fuel injection. It's getting harder and harder to find them. But to get an older vehicle, you can get an older vehicle for $300, $500 that runs in decent shape, but it's not going to have that bling, bling, bam, bam on there. So these guys aren't going to do that, because now they're going to clown him and throw shade and call him a goofy and everything else, because he ain't got a bling, 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 whatever type of car. So they never actually save up enough money to go get them an acceptable looking car, because God forbid we don't have clout. Oh my God, you know, which to this day I still don't. I'll never understand the importance of it. I understand it for them, but for me it's not important, you know. But so therefore, if they've never stopped to get them a vehicle, it's too dangerous riding the train. So all they can do is walk or catch a ride. Well, you know, like they say, you lay down with the dog, you're going to get fleas. Yeah, all their friends, a lot of them don't have vehicles either. You'll have, look at O Block. They had the 2 cars to go. They put 6 guys in to go kill Duck downtown.
Right.
You know, and one of the cars got taken back to the dealer because he falsified records. So in reality, between those 6 guys, as much money as they have, only one of them actually owned a car, and he ain't even from O Block. Now you got 5 guys from O Block, all that money, and none of them's got a vehicle. Think about it like that. So how far can you go?
Not very far.
Across the street to Sammy's into AutoZone. That's it. And you better be bopping and weaving, because right behind those is your ops.
Right.
that close.
That
'Cause
close.
I mean, the neighborhoods are so tightly knitted.
Exactly.
You know, they have to be that way.
And the thing is that if you you know, I'm making jokes in you know in the in the chat, which only if you follow the Chicago gangs you'll understand the jokes. But when I was saying it do hit different, you got to do your homework. I'm over here clowning on somebody that's made that into a catchphrase and made that $20,000. You know, and it's like these guys, if you do your research on them, T. Roy, which is supposed to be this, you know, oh my God, he's a little 5'3" guy, whatever. He had a lot of bodies.
Serial killer, yeah.
Originally, even after, well, should I say, even after he had these bodies, do you know he had some really close friends with the guys that were part of 051, you know, but they really couldn't act on that because they're supposed to be ops. So again, that to me, in my mind, that fault, and I can say this because I'm older, I got a little bit of wisdom in my side pocket. I can say, you know, they can't tarnish their clout status by folks knowing just how much they actually care for those ops. Now, in
Miss Justice, thanks a lot for moderating tonight and throwing up Cassie's channel link.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even see. I'm not even looking at my chat. Sorry.
I can't even see.
Thank
What
you,
is your
Miss
channel?
In the Kanika Jenkins case, that was one of the hardest pills for people to swallow, is saying, how can you have different gangs in the same room?
So your YouTube channel is Loyalty and Betrayal?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, got it. I will be subscribing.
Thank you. You know, if I wanted to be not really sounding sarcastic, but it's going to sound sarcastic, but you know, if you don't believe that the gangs are like that, let's go have Christmas and see how many family members you're going to have. A Stone, you're going to have a Lord, you're going to have a Disciple, you might have a good God, I don't even know.
Blood.
All of it. It's going to be all, we're exchanging presents at Christmas because they're all in the same family. So yes, it happens all the time. It's not, and I try to explain it to people by saying it's not a set fighting a set as much as it's just personal one-on-one type of beef.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, some of these sets, they do have it like that, but it's I've noticed it more so being on the BD side, as far as like you know, they're the ones that's doing it. But a lot of times the whole phrase of the back door, they try to use that in the Kanika Jenkins case. Again, despite what anybody's beliefs are about anything that happened to Kanika Jenkins that weekend, at this point in time, there is still absolutely zero proof that anybody ever laid hands on her that ended her life. Doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It just means that there's no evidence or proof of that being what happened.
Absolutely.
And I'll say
that was never brought up. That was never put on the table. It was never, you know, brought clean out to
like John,
make that kind of identification. You know,
we've heard people saying stuff like, "Well, she was all bloody and bruised up."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Where?
I remember that. They even
you know, created pictures from so-and-so?
Pictures. They created pictures of
and that's what I mean.
Manipulated pictures of bruises, and
we couldn't see underneath her clothes.
Crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff.
Yeah, we couldn't see underneath her clothes, so we have to work with what we had. But from what we had, the worst thing that you could say that you really saw was her hair was all over the place. But in reality, that could have came from a lot of different things. It didn't necessarily mean that she was in a fight. Okay. Now, I will say this, and it's not something that's been recognized by any of the authorities, but I know for sure Boss agrees with me 100%, and I'm sure John, you will too. There is evidence from their footage that they gave us via the FOIA request. There is evidence on that footage that Kanika Jenkins never did walk into that unit, that cooler unit, to go into the freezer.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because I do your homework, people. All you got to do is is watch her when she goes back there and we lose sight of her. You watch the stainless steel wall to the right of the cooler door. You can see that on the footage still. And you watch how the shadows, if there's any shadows. Then I suggest that you if you have access to footage, if you have to go jump channel hop and find it, whatever. Then you fast forward it to Sunday when the cops and all them are going in and out there. Watch how their shadows hit that wall. And then I encourage you to go a little bit further and go to, I think it's like 7:30 Sunday morning when everybody's cleared out and you got this older security guard walking Mr. Dominion Republic Rico Suave around back there. And watch how they walk back there and watch how their shadows do the same thing that Kanika did, which was because they didn't open that cooler door and walk in there.
That's why I snatched her.
No, it doesn't. There's no evidence of anybody snatching her.
Well, I assume and allegedly that because it looked like when she's almost out of view, like somebody yanked her arm.
A lot of people have felt like that, but what I can tell you this is I encourage you to get to a larger screen to view it. And if the actual footage video that you're watching is not crystal clear, crisp, where you can see her body, her arms, her waistline, things like that, then find another copy, because a lot of copies out here, they've been copied, so they get it kind of distorted. Right. But on an original copy of the footage, you can see her waistline. You can see the little label on her pant pocket. You can see that clear. That's the kind of video that you want to watch, that on a bigger screen. A lot of people will use their television to do it, run it that way. And I will say this, in my opinion, the next closest thing to evidence is when we had the footage analyzed by the guy, the expert out in California. We a small group of us put our money together to do that. He couldn't find any evidence of editing, but the way that I understood the results was that there was possible deletions of sections of footage. So if you take that into consideration, as far as when the footage turns off, yes, it's supposed to be sensor activated, but the thing is that footage was not following the rules, the 10-second rule, when it cut on. Much less, even though when it cut off, it was like what, John, at like what, 9.5 seconds or something like that, right? Yeah. They tried. That's why I'm gonna say it like that. But what we have is then a 17-hour gap until you see the maintenance guy coming in there. And I still feel like the maintenance guy only came in there because when he read the temperatures, those units should not have been on. And he saw that the temperatures outside the plywood doors, that they were on. So he walked back there. And then, in my opinion, it's Friday night. Screw it. My job is to write these numbers down. I'm not that he knew she was back there.
Right.
But then the unit was making a louder racket than normal. And we could hear that through Saturday on the police dispatch call, radio calls. You could hear the difference of that the condenser and stuff, compressor, whatever, condenser, yeah, working back there. Okay. It's like once you saw Kanika in the freezer, the way her jacket was bunched up underneath her armpits, it looks like the same way when we go to put that baby in that crib and we slide our hands out from underneath their armpits. If you're at least one of the mamas or grandmamas that put the baby down face on their belly and not on the back, so they don't get a flat head. But that's old school. We still put them on their bellies. And you pull your hands out, how the material of their clothing bunches up behind their armpit. That's the way Kanika looked. Now this is why I can't say that it's evidence, but this is my opinion. She was placed in there after she was found deceased somewhere on the premises. And because it was awkward for them to do that, I feel like when her chute got flipped off, they were aggravated and frustrated at that point, because a dead person's body is not easy to move around. That's why they call it dead weight. I think they grabbed the shoe, they grabbed the hair tie thing, whatever, they just chunked it in there and slammed the door, with a little attitude maybe type of thing, because they were frustrated and tired with it. Yeah, it's been a minute since I did some Kanika, maybe about a month. But the footage itself, because of those shadows, like I said, using their footage that they entered in as evidence, that alone should be proof that Kanika did not walk herself in there. Now, where can anybody take it past that? I don't know. It would, if it were to ever actually get fortunate enough to be opened back up, I can say it would be a whole new set of eyes looking at it, because a majority of the staff that was on record for handling this investigation, a lot of them have retired. A few of them's passed away.
Uh-huh.
A couple, I think 2, maybe 3, have moved up in rank. But like for example, Anthony Pawinski, there we go, the K9 dog guy. His dog died and he retired. The head guy in charge, what was his Chief Kaluka, he retired. The one that they kept trying to say was Tanasia's father-in-law, a Freemason or something, and he's a white guy and the other guy's a black guy. They couldn't tell. This community couldn't tell the difference apparently, but he's retired. He makes a great PR person, I'm gonna tell you that, because that's the one that was actually showing up to all those protests, that was doing all that. Him and Mackey, Chief Mackey, those two. Mackey's quick. He can lie quick. Is they supposed to take the, what did she say? Is they supposed to take her possessions off, her belly ring and her, no, that's evidence. Well, they did. They gave it to us. Oh, well, that's because we want you to have it in safekeeping. That man was quick on his feet. If I ever gotta need some kind of anybody to do some public speaking for me to cover my ass, I'm gonna hire Chief Mackey from Postmont, Illinois.
Free advertisement. There you go.
He is quick on his feet. Jedediah, actually, I saw. I don't keep up with him or anything, but I actually did see a post from him yesterday, saying something about he missed the bonding that a lot of them got to do, like during the Jailhouse Chronicles and stuff like that. And but I'll say it again, and it's this just the tip of the iceberg that Boss and I had, is that this Kanika community, despite the amount of us that really came into it with a true heart, a clean heart, and with good intentions, it was overrun a long time ago, and it is still overrun by a lot of people without those things. And you can't see it as clearly when you're still neck deep in the community, but when you step back and you look into the community, you see it clear as day. And it's a damn shame, because you're making a mockery. No matter what you think about the mom, the family, the whatever, if nothing else, you're making a mockery of Kanika's legacy, of her life and her death, by the things that you're saying and putting out that are false information on her mother. You don't have to like her mother, but guess what? Kanika loved her mother.
Right.
So if you want to say whatever, justice for Kanika, if you want to say anything Kanika in a positive manner, then you got to respect the fact that that girl loved her mama. Yeah, just like all moms and daughters, they had their days, they had their issues, they went their ups and downs. Don't we all?
Indeed.
Right.
If you say you didn't, then I'm gonna tend to look at you sideways, because I ain't met a parent yet that ain't never got into it with one of their kids, with all their kids, at some point in life,
Absolutely.
For them, it was the fact, because of her death, we, the internet, decided we were entitled to go head dive into all their personal business, and they weren't expecting that. So it wasn't like that they immediately went and made everything private, and any little photograph that may be posted up that says, hey, look at me, I still look good at 40. Oh, look at that hoe, she's a tot, and that type of shit. And that was just wrong.
It's incredibly sad for the true community that was seeking justice, for the frauds that was trying to milk it and get revenue off of it.
Well, believe it, I used to say that back in 2018. It's even worse than that, because I found out that probably 90-something% of them never made a penny. They just did it because. That takes a twisted individual. That's somebody that is that clout's not even on the table. That's an attention-seeking person. That's
Well,
all hours of the day and night making up BS stories about a deceased girl that they never knew and never gonna know anybody in that entire family, to sit on the internet and just to add their little 2 cents into maybe on a comment or a chat to make them feel it like they belong somewhere. You see
actually,
what I'm saying? That's
that
crazy.
that actually occurred in, I won't name some YouTubers, but where they completely was not in it. It was all to get clout or money.
Attention.
And it tarnished the community.
It did. I mean, there was, don't get me wrong, in the beginning there was channels that made so much money. YouTube literally stopped paying for channels that was putting out Kanika content, and there was a couple channels that were smart and they went and filed paperwork with the, I guess, the FCC or whoever it is that controls, has the regulations and stuff, and YouTube had to turn around and open it back up. They just didn't announce it. And a lot of channels for a couple of years thought that they still wasn't going to get paid for doing Kanika content, so they wouldn't do Kanika content, or they wouldn't apply for the monetization. Myself, I did, because of, I went through 3 laptops frying the hard drives because of the amount of content and research that I was saving. Believe it or not, it never crossed my mind to go get one of these external hard drives, because let's be real, it wasn't popular like that in 2017. You know how hard it was to find a desktop screen recorder in 2017. They were just coming out with them on cell phones. If you didn't have an Apple, that you could barely find one for free that didn't have a watermark slapped across the middle in 2017. So the first 2 years of the Kanika's case, a lot of things changed on the internet as far as what was available for people that didn't have money to just pour into making content about Kanika. But even after that, putting in money on, I'm one of the few that actually took her case file down to the library and I printed out the entire case file at 10 cents a page. And some of those pages you didn't have a choice. They came out in color. That's 25 cents now. And you didn't know about it till it got printed, that type of thing. So yeah, I did finally apply for monetization, but even at that point, because I had been eligible for it for a long time, but even at that point, I had to apply 30 times and I got, 31 times, because I got 30 rejections before the 31st time was I actually approved. And again, I'll say it again, I get $100 a month if I bust my butt. And I think a lot of it is because my content was Kanika content. Now that I'm putting out the Chicago scene, just now this month of what month are we in? September?
Yes.
I gotta look at the calendar. John, I kid you not, I did not know we had a female president until maybe 6 months ago.
A female president?
Vice president.
President.
I didn't know. That's how much I don't pay attention
Oh,
to the outside world.
You didn't know Kamala took the seat?
I don't even know. Them people, I thought Trump was president because I'm used to my husband making fun of Trump still, because when I do my research, it's for me, it's all or nothing. My kids are grown, they're gone, whatever. I'm over here now. I take care of my dad, help take care of him. So, once I do what he needs, it's all me. I get to take a dive in. And sometimes when I pull my head up, I'm like, golly, the sun came up. When did I go to bed? Because it's like, I thought it was just a Kanika case, but it's not. For me, it's like people when they binge watch on Netflix a series.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to wait till maybe tomorrow night I'll watch part 2. No, you sit there and you watch it all. Same thing with these case files. And like I said, I've got well over 1,000 different people's case files. And it's like you get right on page 127 or something and like, oh, okay, pause right there. And I go start researching, go find, and let me go see, and then you come back maybe 2 hours later and pick up where you left off because you went off to go find what it was they were speaking about so that you know whether or not it's true or not. Same thing with the Kanika case, with the way he was saying about that I knew everybody's names. there was 6 weeks before we got the case file. So I didn't have nothing to do but go find out people's names.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out with people like Brianna Cotton that wasn't even at the party. But I liked her because she had a lot of girl fight videos on her channel. I mean, on her page. And so I would go, you know, I kept going because I found the ones that had a lot of action on their page, because all of a sudden that's how, oh, look, there goes an Irene. There goes a Monifa. That's how I found out who, at the time it was John Doe. I was still following Patrick Howard when he was still under John Doe before the cops did the search warrant, and Facebook ended up taking his Facebook account, because that's when they realized there was a John Doe, and they said, we need you to prove identification for this account. Well, he can't say I got an ID for a John Doe, so he lost that profile. You know, things like that. I was following that far back, and I just didn't know what I was doing. So my safety net was download everything, download everything, download everything. I think I was in 2020, and I would still find something on my hard drives, one of my hard drives, that I never even knew I had, or I completely forgot I had, that I never even watched. And luckily, a lot of times it pulled out. Maybe it wasn't significant to the case, but it would be the answers to that, you know, that little question that bothered you, like what the guys were talking about earlier about why is she sitting out in the hallway?
Right, to link to something else. Yeah.
And for me, I'm the one, boss gets on me, but I'm the one that, why you think she's telling the truth? You know, Maya, she's the one that, she's the little Barbie that's always in the mirror. And if you're not in her mirror saying how beautiful she is, she don't know you exist. You know, that's the impression I get from her. They all have their own little things. And before we knew their names, yeah, we gave them all nicknames. Mine was, what did he call the 5 goofies or whatever? Mine was the 5 heartbeats, the fabulous 4, the 3 lovely ladies, you know, things like that. And then as I would find out who they were, I'd put it on there. And I would use their government name instead of their street name, because a lot of people have similar names, or a lot of people try to give. So like Brianna Cotton tell us point blank period in the beginning, I have never gone by Bree Bree. Don't call me Bree Bree. People still will call her Bree Bree now in this community. Bree Bree is Brianna Mays. Now, yes, a lot of them have passed away. A lot of their family members passed away with COVID, stuff like that. But if you want to compare those numbers up to the community, y'all don't want me to show y'all. I've got the spreadsheets. I learned how to do FOIA straight from CPD, that I can get updated daily if I wanted to, on every person that passed away that day, every person that was arrested that day.
Is it? Could you do a video on the people that were that was surrounding the case that's deceased? That would be awesome. Maybe like
I got him on my channel. It's on a playlist. I think it's 3 playlists. It says RIP on the 3 playlists.
Okay, RIP.
Because you've got, what you got is like you got like with the guys I said, the 5 heartbeats. He calls them the 5 goofies. The 5, they came in late. They were meeting up with TY. They weren't really there for the party. They were just there, and then actually, you know, there's no evidence they even went upstairs, and they left. One of the guys, oh my God, I'm gonna hate myself. I can't think of his name. He was killed in a car wreck with another guy that wasn't at the party. They were coming home on the highway, and he was in the passenger seat. The other guy was driving, but their vehicle ran up underneath an 18-wheeler and caught on fire. Now,
I'm talking about this. Did this happen in 2017 too?
No, this happened like 19 or 20, something like that, maybe 21. But it always angered me, because every time I would put that out, some kind of information like that out there would always be that person that would show up in the comments and say, karma, that's what he gets. And that would piss me off so bad, because first off, you saying karma means you got evidence that they did something to Kanika, first off.
Right.
Which you don't. I know you don't. And you know, Jarvis Anderson, that's his name. You know, and his family was hit hard, because whatever this community was going and saying to his family members were coming back into the Facebook and YouTube and attacking people. Like, I didn't put nothing bad out on Jarvis. I just, did more like a rest in peace type of thing. And they even came and attacked me to where I had to block them because they just felt like I was going to say something negative about them. And it made me feel bad for them, because what if these people telling them, Mike Tate's aunt, she's been on my channel. Another channel told her, Mike Tate raped Kanika's dead body, all this crazy shit. And I couldn't do, all I could do is I tried to reach out to her and I says, look,
what it is in Chicago.
We don't all feel this way, this community. That lady is crazy,
Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was saying that in Chicago, when people say RIP, not us civilians, but gang members and stuff, that it's like mockery, even though you're not a gang member.
Yeah,
I think they're so hurt and clouded that they came after you because others were doing that same thing. But
yeah, I know it takes on a different meaning, but and that's why a lot of people didn't understand when Leonora had said don't have no shirts that says R.I.P. Kanika. She couldn't really explain to the community why, because if she would have explained to the community why, then they're going to turn that around into something that it wasn't and put a shade on Kanika's name, a mark on Kanika's name. But the thing is that the same energy and persona that I put into my content is the same then as it is now, and it's just actually it's fallen on ears that the people have seen me for who I am and not who others say that I am or who others are, and they're thinking that I might be like them or whatever. And because literally, John, I don't know, there's no words for it when I get a notification about somebody else's channels having a live, somebody that I've just had met, watched a couple of their lives. So I go quietly into the chat. I put a like, hadn't even said hello or nothing. There's 5 men on the panel. I only know who one of them is, which is the channel owner. And 2 of the other ones on the panel didn't know who they were because they didn't have their names showing up there. Said, have y'all seen that channel, Loyalty and Betrayal? And they started talking such positive things. I couldn't even type.
Wow.
They was like, she's so thorough with her research and da da da. To this day, I still don't even know who those words were that said those things. But to get that is better than any paycheck YouTube could have ever given me.
Right.
Back when Brandon Weaver out in Memphis, Tennessee, when he was murdered by the Rangers, when his parents came to me in my comments and thanked me, I'm getting goosebumps again, damn it, thanked me for being an unbiased person putting out content about their child. Ain't no money in the world can replace that feeling that it'll give you when somebody's in the middle of mourning the death of their child that was murdered by the authorities. And out of all the channels putting all this content out there, they came and told me, thank you for being unbiased. There's no words that can describe it made me feel like validated. Okay, you're doing what's right. Yes, you make mistakes. Everything I've said has not always been perfect. But when I find out that there's an error, I fix it immediately. I don't just.
I wanted to ask you something, Cassie, since you're up here. Any thoughts about the picture in front of you?
The shoe?
Yeah. This piece of evidence that was a part of the case file, still is today.
Yes.
Were there any thoughts you had as to how her sneakers got so filthy on both sides? It's just been a piece of evidence that's like has not really been cornered yet.
It's my opinion.
Yeah,
it's my opinion. That's all I can say. And it's an opinion based off of a lot of research and also bouncing. You know how everybody does it that actually works together behind the scenes, collaborating, bouncing thoughts and ideas and whatever off of each other. So bouncing between Jackie Dragon and myself and a couple others. This is way back now, mind you. And bouncing off of one of those producers from the TV show. It still is my belief that wherever they found Kanika's dead body, that they used one of those blue laundry bins to move her. Not them little short white ones, the blue ones. And I'm gonna say it like this: I've seen somebody.
The one that was downstairs. The one that was downstairs on the lower level.
Well, you can move them around. I mean, they're mobile. They can go anywhere. They go up and
Yeah,
down.
they got wheels. They got wheels on the bottom.
Housekeeping, from housekeeping, the plastic ones.
Right.
Okay.
Didn't the assistant beverage manager go down to laundry and push one of those bins or something while
I never saw him pushing a bin, but when he did go down to laundry, it was after they had so-called found her body.
Right.
But this is my. I've seen
like he was working with tablecloths or something.
Yes.
Like that.
In my opinion, because he had already been there like 14 hours. They were not through talking to him. And he said something about having to be back like at 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever. To me, that just appeared that he was, let me do some of the crap that I got to do in the morning so I ain't got to worry about it in the morning because I'm going to be dragging in the morning. You know,
right.
That's what I saw that to be. But going back, what you asked me about the shoe, because I've seen in real life with my own eyes, people horse playing and throwing somebody inside of one of those blue bins, empty, and seeing how hard it is for somebody to get out. That's alive and well because it's got that narrow opening that tapers down to a very narrow area about waist high.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
You see what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about. Let me do this real quick. No, Irene, you had your turn.
Steady, clout chasing. I don't want to talk. I got that song so memorized. I ain't even gonna lie. I have passed that song on to some Chicago people.
When you go live, you usually throw that up there. And
if I'm doing Irene content, if I'm doing Kanika content, I do. And I kid you not, I've literally in emails and messenger, I have sent that to some people in Chicago, and they laugh their ass off. They really do.
Oh man,
they love it.
It's a good piece of work, I'm telling you.
They really do. But what I was gonna say is it's my opinion that that's how her shoe was actually knocked off of her foot, which then caused the scrape on her ankle. Now, I will say this is something that Boss and I go back and forth because he said this is speculation. Well, look, we weren't flies on the walls to be able to see. You're asking my opinion. This is my opinion. Some of those laundry carts, if you're throwing the dirty laundry in there, which that's really, what they kind of do, they get a buildup of crap at the bottom. Just dirt and.
Now see what's on the screen.
I'm looking at your screen. At your screen just has the people. Okay. Yeah, that's a dumpster. That's a trash can dumpster. That's
right.
metal.
Okay. So
now I know that y'all have spoken about thinking that she may have been transported around in that. For me, this is where me and my baby daddy were gonna bump ahead. Like I tell them, have you ever done something with one of those? It's not quiet. It's I mean, for a man, it's not hard as it is for a woman, but it's loud. It's echoey. It's using the plastic laundry bin would be, for one, much easier, and because of the walls on it being built up so high, let's say by chance somebody happened to come down out of the elevator and just happen, what did Douglas Anderson call the trans guy in the white t-shirt, the jogger?
Oh yeah.
The jogger. He called him the jogger. Let's say the jogger decided to pop another pill and come on down there and jog past you. If you got one of those high, here it is, the high blue cart. Now this one's got a more wide opening than the ones that Crown Plaza had, but because it's got the high sides and all that, there's no chance really that you're going to see what we have in the cart, which, for my theory, I say that it's Kanika's deceased body. I've never tried it. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, can you approve that screen share and I'll show the cart that I'm talking about.
Hold on.
I've never tried this on my Chromebook, but it worked. I Googled it because I don't have no content on this.
You got it. You got it now.
Oh, that ain't. Get up there. Here we go. How do I scroll this up? But see, this
Oh, you're talking about from the laundry room. Okay.
I think that when they threw her body in there or when they pulled her out, I think her foot got hung up here.
And the sneaker came off.
And the shoe, there it is.
Okay, yeah.
Came
That's a
off.
good picture of it. Yeah,
and it
because
would
it's got
scrape
wheels at
her
the bottom
ankle
and
as
everything.
well by doing that. Okay.
Right.
And like I said, you got to maneuver this. We ain't got to worry about the footage because we done cut the footage. So now you rolled it up in the elevator, but you got to maneuver this through that zigzag double swinging doors and the plywood doors with the ice maker. Okay. Now we got a few feet of a straight shot. Now we got to get around the pillar in the middle of the room. And okay, now we're going to open up the cooler door. You might have tried to stick it, and it probably would have fit through there, but it's going to be awkward because the freezer door is going to open in the manner of now you'd have to get that cart around the other side. So, okay, let's pull her body out. So you ain't got much room to work because if it's one person doing it and the body, that's already two people. For a third person, another alive person to be helping, you ain't got that kind of room. So ultimately, you got one person really, once they get into the cooler with her body, that's got to open that freezer door. And I believe that's why they just turned to the right and dropped her right there in that corner, pulled their hands out. That's why her clothes bunched up behind her. Oh, here's her shoe. Chunk that baby in there because it's in the opposite side. And it's in the side that if you're opening that door with your left hand, because that's what you got to do, it opens that way. You got the shoe in your right hand, you chunk it in there, that's where it's going to land, is off to the left side over there. That's my theory.
Right.
Of how, and now what I was going to say about the dirt and stuff is, again, depending on how much debris and whatever at the bottom of this, which let's look. Crown Plaza wasn't good on a whole lot of policies. So much so that even when they were doing the video recording of the walkthrough, we were smart enough to hire as a security stand at the back door, but we forgot to take out the wet floor sign that we normally keep in the door so it won't lock on people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because they're just accustomed. And I don't know about everybody else's jobs, but Church's Chicken, when I was managing there, our back door did the same thing. If you're during rush hour, you ran out of paper cups or the little paper boats. Our storage was out across the parking lot. You ran out the back door. Now you got to wait for somebody to open the door, and ain't nobody coming because it's lunch rush. So we'd take that sign and we'd stick it in that door. That way I can let myself back in when I come running back in with this row of cups and stuff. Hurry up. We were getting the line backed up. Things like that. So you become accustomed to breaking the rules for whatever the reasons. In this situation, they were breaking that rule because nobody's back there in that dock area to let people come in and cut through to go downstairs and clock in because the time clock's right underneath there.
Right. So now for me, when I did my 8-part series and then went live, a lot of my thoughts about the dirt on Kanika's clothes started matching up with this particular item.
That makes more sense as far as being able to get a for sure dirtiness on her. Yes. I just don't, like I told boss, I don't see the mobility of it.
It's got wheels and everything.
No, I know it's got wheels, but what I'm saying is like pushing it on that linoleum floor is going to be loud.
Oh yeah, well,
you see what I'm saying?
No one would be
except for you got the jogger. You got the jogger. You got. Hey, look, Patrick still ain't told me how he saw the stacked up chairs. Y'all got to remind me, y'all. One of these days when I get me a check from YouTube that's over $100. Patrick's locked up again. He's in the penitentiary. I'm gonna send him some money on commissary.
Again.
I haven't done it yet. I ain't had the money yet. I'm gonna send him some money and ask him, look, one question. That's all I got is one question. How did you see the stacked up chairs? Not because I'm think he's guilty of anything.
Right, right.
But in order for you to see those stacked up chairs, you are walking, talking proof that footage was deleted of that part of the footage because you never came close enough to those double swinging doors to see those chairs.
Right.
Which means they deleted. And to me, the bathroom hallway is the one hallway that they should not have had to delete anything, or they could have deleted the whole footage of the bathroom hallway because there was no reason for her to ever go down there and get her a drink of water. You know what I mean? That's the one place that I felt like if they wanted to do something, they could have just deleted that whole scenery, but they didn't.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of, there was a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving people, a lot of moving parts, timelines, and the stories on both sides. Both sides.
I will say this. I think a lot, again, of the people's confusion. Now, you and I can say where we don't agree on details, at least we can say that we have put 100% full effort into researching every angle aspect that we could, that there is possibility. So then it kind of goes back to, like you did your one live about perception is reality. Okay.
Right.
A lot of these people in the community, though, they have the beliefs that they have because they've never heard most of the research findings. Like, as far as like when they, why were they kiki and kaka laughing and when they weren't really looking, and why weren't they paranoid? Look, if you do the research all the way, you'll find out. The weekend before, Kanika and Monifa went to another party at a hotel, and Kanika dipped off and didn't say nothing to Monifa. Monifa got tired of walking around looking forward to where Monifa laid out on the little sofa thingy in, I guess, in the lobby. I don't know where it was at anyway. Fell asleep. Kanika come and woke her up, and a couple hours had passed. She goes, girl, you ready to go? Let's go. That type of thing. So for her to be disappearing like this without saying anything to anybody really should not have set off bells and alarms. They're all accustomed to doing this. So for me, it took the opposite effect. Why was Bree so insistent on wanting to call her mama? And please don't tell me because that was her BFF. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Bree's the one that made the little catchphrase famous in this community. No face, no case. Because she was the one, things like that.
Right,
so no,
right.
Bree, there's not that much history with Kanika and Bree. Like Bree tries to put it out there. There is. There's not. There is, okay, y'all were tight for a minute because you're Rico's cousin, but you're so much younger, things like that. It was different. But the thing is that once you start learning those, your perception is going to become a different angle.
You're going to have a shift. Yeah,
exactly. And then I'll tell y'all real briefly, when I came into this case, this was my thought process. I'd watched a couple of YouTube videos, heard a couple of rumors here and there on Facebook, whatever. So I'm going to go find out something because this is where I was left at.
Right.
Irene and Bree set up Monifa and Kanika. Monifa and Kanika was to be killed, and Irene and Bree. Now, mind you, it was limited because I didn't know any of these other people, so I got to blame it on them. Okay, but they were the ones because why did they take her phone? Why did they take her keys? Because that way they can't call for help. And Monifa could not have been in on it because they took Monifa's phone too. And then when you get to the part in your mind thinking, okay, well, why is Monifa still alive? Because Monifa was the wildcat. She didn't act the way that they thought she was gonna act. So whenever they started to try to do something to her, she went wild and they couldn't, that was my thought process.
Right.
And God bless Kenneth Tart's poor heart.
Right.
And his offspring that's gonna have to grow up seeing stuff that people said about him on the internet. But yeah, I believed it at first that he raped and killed her and all this other stuff. And when I realized how foolish that was, I did. He never responded, but I did go and send him an apology. Then I went back and I found that channel that I believed it from, and I gave him a good piece of my mind for putting that information out there because it was based off of nothing.
In my opinion, as far as the video and things been deleted, I don't think they thought it would go that far. That most people would take a teen drunk found in the freezer. Okay, she's found, condolences, and keep moving. So I believe, and then the turnaround. So I personally believe that's why the tapes were the way they were, with with a lot of mistakes, or not mistakes, but trying to clean up.
Well, I'm not sure what your definition of like cleaning it up is, but a lot that goes back to what I was saying about if you've seen videos of footage where it's not crystal clear what you're seeing, more than likely it's because it's been copied too many times, or somebody held their cell phone over another cell phone, that type of thing, and that does cause distortion. That's how we ended up with those people.
You're gonna get a lot of distortion,
Yeah.
pixelation.
We
A whole
had
bunch of
all
stuff.
kinds of the three-headed GD,
No.
black disciple, cannibal eating person, because of that.
I was just basically commenting on what you had said earlier, because I didn't want to cut you off.
Okay, go ahead.
But when you were saying, why would they, if they was going to delete, they should have deleted this or cut the whole thing out. And I was making reference to, they didn't think it was going to blow up like it did. They thought the community was going to accept, oh, she was found in the freezer, drunk, and move on.
I see what you're saying there. My thing is this, though, because I'm an overthinker and I always do the whole devil advocate thing, is, okay, going with that theory, I agree with that theory, but then it throws a monkey wrench in there. Then what could have possibly happened at the moment that Patrick had to have walked up to those doors? Even if he didn't see nothing, he just looked at the doors and turned around and came back and walked, either the escalator or the stairs, whichever. But that's the only way possible that he saw those stacked up chairs. What was going on that right before that or right after it that the hotel would have had to delete it? And it would have to be deleted because we don't see Patrick ever go nowhere except for down the stairs and back up the escalator. That's it. That's his extent of time on the lower level.
I apologize. Who's Patrick again? It's been a while.
Okay, when you see the group of Maya, Monifa, and Bree, and the couple of guys coming down the stairs, and then Maya comes down and she goes into the female's restroom and then by herself, and then she comes back up. If you actually take the cameras and go from this camera and then go to that camera, what they did was they walked down those stairs, and right around the corner is the escalator. They just rode the escalator right back up. That's all they did. They went down and went right back up, other than Maya going into that bathroom. That's the only time that Patrick, he's the one that during TY's live, he was most of the time sitting next to TY, putting his hand over his mouth. Peasy.
Oh, okay.
They call him Peasy.
Okay, I know you think. Didn't he have on a red shirt?
No, that was a nephew.
Okay.
Rashawn Gates. Ooh, they tested my brain, ain't they? I ain't said these names in a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta, you're gonna
this
get,
is how I
you're gonna
learned
get
them and
those
remember
names triggered. That's
Little
for sure.
Ty was the youngest male. Nephew was the shortest male. TY is not Ty. He's TY as far as what his family calls him. And then you had Player Games, which is a YouTuber that decided to give himself away. And that's how I knew he was watching my content, because nobody else called him TY except for me. And then he started copying that. Okay. Then you have Patrick, which actually in the paperwork started out as John Doe. Not because they didn't know who he was, but that was what his Facebook profile said, John Doe. And he was, and then like I said, as I worked my way around, you had the Vice Lord, which was Cocky, Jonathan, Kobe, Wayne, Hollywood. I'm missing one. I didn't say 6. Jonathan Johnson, Lawrence Johnson, Maurice Dean, Wayne Anderson, Kobe Baker, and I'm missing one. Who is the other one? Isaiah Love. There we go. Smacks.
This is Patrick here.
That's Patrick in the orange shirt and on Zach's interview.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got the.
I thought it was you.
shirt.
I remember.
But in the lives, it was nephew that was wearing the Seahawks hoodie, jersey, whatever that thing. Now, for anybody that happens to be new that's in John's chat, if you have this thought process, or if you hear, why is Dorian, the guy with the whiter t-shirt, wearing the same clothes from the party?
Yeah, that was very, very strange.
I've heard this from so many people, and because they've given me all the exact same answer, that had nothing to do with the Kanika Jenkins case at all. Apparently, back then, I don't know if it still goes on now, it was a thing in Chicago that, let's say, like, if you went to a party and then, let's say, I don't know, give me a famous person, a real famous person, I don't know, Michael Jordan walked in, okay? So now Zach wants to interview you about the party you were at that Michael Jordan walked in. It's supposed to be some kind of customary thing that you would wear that same outfit that you wore at in attendance to that party, so that people would recognize who you were if they were to actually see like any lives or anything like that. That's you. Oh, it's, to me, it's dumb, but that's what it is. And Patrick with the light jeans, that is not blood stains on his jeans. Those jeans come purchased that way. It looks like red splattered paint.
Yeah, the speckles.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yes, I meant, remember, John, the little video that of a lot of people say, oh, it's the rehearsal room. That's just that where they're
Oh
Like
yeah,
the green room.
I remember
Mind
that.
you, guys off to the left hand side, the heavy set one in the dark black hoodie or whatever, there is one of Kanika's cousins on her dad's side of the family. I swear, I literally spent weeks every day looking, comparing at that profile. Is that him? Is that him? The guy next to him that's wearing the yellow and white and black flannel short sleeve shirt, I examined his tattoos and compared them up with Dorian's. I'm going to, to this day, I ain't found that dude yet. I have chased that shirt all across Chicago, but I have not matched up the tattoos. That's how crazy and obsessed that I was getting. But again, people that say, oh, they lost sleep, and we all did, but maybe from different reasons. Because I try to go to bed and it's like, that tattoo's bothering me. You know what? Let me go look over here. I ain't looked over here yet. And it is like a drug. It is very contagious. It's very obsessive. And in the early days, I remember people that had channels way before I had a channel. They were like eating on their lives because they had been on the internet so long. They had not even stopped to eat a meal. They had not stopped and taken care of their children. And then when the beef started between different channels, they were literally like calling CPS on each other. How they found out who they were, they would. It was crazy. There was couples that got divorces over the Kanika Jenkins case.
Wow.
Because the
That's a
wife
lot of
was
stuff.
spending too much time researching or spending too much time running a group, things like that. And they were ignoring their family. And it you know, like that's what Nikki, the producer in the MTV show, says. She goes, it was this phenomenon that everybody could not step away from it. I personally can say she's right, but I still feel that same way whenever I start like right now, Duck's case being a RICO case. Every freaking day it'll cost me $1 and some change. I go to the federal Pacer website just to see, is there a page that got a document that got released today? And just by doing that, it cost me I think it's $1.30, you know, that type of thing, you know. And because I need to know. Why do I need to know? It's human nature. I don't know. It's not the competition of putting it out first, because whether I put it out first, guess what? Everybody's just gonna come take it from me anyway. It don't matter. I ain't gonna, you know. It's just that, but that need to know that we have inside of us, whether it's because we have empathy. Like for me, I have trouble doing cases that involve young children's deaths. It's too hard. It's very hard. I've done them, but it's like when you got family members coming and asking you, will you research my family's case or whatever? Yeah, they haven't updated his profile picture. I actually looked at it this past week.
Yeah, there's your boyfriend.
That's not my boyfriend. I could name a few others I'd take long before I took that.
His boyfriend, good old
his
Ty.
300,000 that he got on his
Is that
lawsuit.
Ty? Yeah.
Yeah.
That 300 and something thousand that he got on his lawsuit at the end of July back in 2017 would not be enough for me to still even consider taking off anything. Thank you. That's it. What else y'all want to know? I could tell you all his business. That's the guy he killed right there, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you did a whole video on this.
Yeah. And now here's the thing. What he's doing time on now that he's supposed to get out in 2025.
Oof. Okay.
Hey, I know that guy too. Sorry. I kid you not.
2025. I'm just scrubbing through this.
But the charges that he's actually incarcerated for, that he's supposed to get out in 2025, those charges actually, because Cook County held on to him, those charges are from Cook County, but he had other charges in Wisconsin. The ones in Wisconsin, the minimum mandatory minimum was 37 years. Now I didn't know how to add it up because of having priors and all that, so I didn't know how to. So I'm just doing it. I was adding it up as a first timer, but because Cook County, he hauled around with messing around with the little charges, really what he got, in Cook County. By the time that they finally extradited him off to Wisconsin, they just threw a plea bargain at the guy and dropped the heroin, dropped the cocaine, they dropped everything, the stolen vehicle, the gun, all that stuff. Ultimately, whenever he's through doing Cook County's prison time, I guess you could say, he's only got to do 18 months for Wisconsin. Yeah, that's the plea bargain. Yep. But now he's got the murder, so now he's still got to answer to that murder. That's different. They haven't done the punishment for that or anything like that. Neither. And if anybody's curious, Irene's baby daddy, Torres Cathery, he still hasn't made it to trial for his murder charges. I checked on him the other day, and good news is, I know that y'all don't know any of these people, but the good news is he's always had relatives that have been incarcerated. And I mean, for decades and decades and decades. I'm talking about 25, 30 years. And at this time, the last male relative in his family, was released on parole earlier this year. Now, I say it like it's a good thing, and some people may be questioning it. I'm looking at it from a mother's point. Her son, he's been sitting in Cook County on a murder charge. In my opinion, yes, he did murder the guy. It was overkill. But he also has a good case because 2 or 3 months prior to that, the same guy that he ended up killing was trying to kill him and chased him down into the what do you call that? The underground train thingy. Subway. There we go. Chased him down there and almost killed him. So this time when he saw the whole group of people coming at him, he actually had his weapon on him. So instead of just running because they had chased him back down in the subway again, he just turned around and opened fire on him. And when the main perpetrator fell, he went and stood over him and unloaded on him. That's where the overkill comes in, and that's why they're doing it like this. But if you stop and put yourself in his shoes, are you not going to go ahead and make sure it's handled this time? Or are you going to take a chance on him surviving and he's going to come back for you again like he's been trying?
Right.
Absolutely, because I had said to someone that I want to learn how to shoot, operate, clean, and if someone tried me, I don't want to kill them. I just want to stop them. And the police officer said, you want to shoot to kill, because if you don't, they will come back and take your life.
Well, in this case, this guy had been chasing Torres around a lot. Now, mind you, the media made Torres look worse than what he really was. Torres is nothing but a pill popping. He was actually almost going to make it into the music industry. I can say that. He does got some songs out there on YouTube, and it was with some guys that I'm not going to say he would have been the next Drake or anything like that, but I'm just saying he could have done something besides running drugs. Okay. But because these guys from the other team decided to keep picking at him and chasing him all the time, this is what happens. Okay. So now his life, basically, you could say, is over because he's probably going to spend life in prison. Her other son, the younger son, who had just signed a music artist deal with Fredo Santana's company, whatever. The police chased him and killed him in December of 2017. And it was not a mistake, really. It was just that, yes, he had a gun. He was running down the stairs. You know how those apartments are, that the stairs kind of go zigzaggedy. So his hands were going down the handrail, and he had the gun in his hand. When he turned to go down to the next flight, his hand still coming down with the on the rail with the gun, it did appear for like a minute split second that he was pointing the gun backward at the cop, even though he wasn't. The cop shot him in the dead center in the chest. He fell down the stairs. That video's on YouTube still.
Wow.
And the cop tried to help him.
You got a question from Marley 13. Who was it that said they lifted her soul?
A totally innocent person that said it the day after. They said it on Sunday, and I'm dancing around saying his name because he's already been falsely accused to the point that their parents have actually had to get involved with some of these YouTube channels and the lies that they put out.
Yeah, there was some strange videos that popped up.
He literally what we saw in that live. Literally, what he was doing was, it was a Sunday afternoon. They were sitting in the trenches waiting to pick up their batch of marijuana.
Yeah, they was smoking.
And they were waiting. The guy was supposed to come out to bring in the weed, whatever. They had some music playing. They did nothing different than I know my husband done, and I've heard a lot of other people do, was ad-libbing to the song playing on the CD or the radio, whatever it was. And because of, by the time that video live got spread around this part of social media, yes, there was a person that wrote in that chat that said something about what'd you do to that girl. But if you look close, you can see the difference between the red dots and the white dots. That comment was written a week or two after the fact of that live. It was not when that live took place. So a lot of people in this community mixed that and confused it. Like, look, they're telling them, what did he do to her? No, that was after the fact. And
Yeah, I never touched that. I never touched that because I couldn't connect it.
Mitchell's mother, literally, I've spoken with her, and Mama Jay's spoken with her in comments in this community, and she apologized for what her son did. I don't feel like she needs to apologize for her son ad-libbing to a song while they're on live, because grown adults in this community can't act right. And that's all it boiled down to.
Right. So what I wanted to do, I truly appreciate you coming up on panel, you and Kimberly, and keeping the chat involved, with the case and everything else like that. It's very rare.
I enjoy meeting other people that I've, like Miss Wilson here, that I've never met before, and hearing what their brain thinks about things. People don't believe me, but I do enjoy it 100%. I really
definitely. I mean, it's only rare now that this is 6 years anniversary, so to speak. We're in the month of September. I really was thinking about, not really touching it, but then again, I said, well, something, I can touch it because, there was something on my mind that I wanted to do back then in 2020, 2019, that I didn't do. And I said, well, I'm gonna do it now. And that's when I threw up the short interview with Bree.
See, I came in late, but I saw the little video you had put out.
Yeah, boss helped me to put that together. I wanted that piece out there so that, people can remember a lot of the things that they may not have heard, may have forgotten, and Bree was the quiet one. Her story didn't really come out until then, which she didn't really, to a degree, say much.
If you could see me right now, see me laughing, y'all need to do y'all's homework on Bree's family, okay? Quiet is not always better. I'm not saying Bree herself, but there's some people in her family that I've always made jokes about, that if I'm gonna run, if I were to ever be in an alley, and I'm talking about females in their family that's been incarcerated since 1999, things like that. And it's like, no, when I read the story on what happened there, nope. Somebody dropped that lady on her head to begin with to make her think she did, But again, it kind of reminds me of those sci-fi movies that you hear about when the children under the stairs and stuff like that. I just ain't playing with folks like that. No, thank you.
Yeah. But I wanted to actually wrap things up. I didn't want to go too far into my live and everything else like that. But, to have you and Kimberly come up and, really expound on bits
Okay.
and pieces of information that a lot of people are you know, they're not
Here,
privy to. You know,
John, here you go. While you were talking right now, I pulled it up real quick.
Yeah.
October the 16th at 10 a.m. in courtroom 2005, Judge Richard, in the Judge Richard Daley Center is Teresa's next hearing, and it's an assignment call, is what they're calling it. But if anybody's interested, they can go look that up. John, if you haven't, I encourage you to, because when I looked it up a couple of weeks ago, I literally had missed a lot of information. And what you can see on the far right-hand side now is some of who all they're pulling in and getting statements and stuff from.
They're getting what?
I don't know what else
They're
to call
getting
it.
statements?
I don't know what else to call it because it says comments. So I'm assuming it's statements, but we got and I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head because I'm scrolling because I'm not seeing it fast. Anthony Della Cova. You got
Detective Anthony
yeah.
Diakova. Oh, the big tall guy that took over the whole case.
No. He's a shorter, dark-haired guy that was supposed to be on paperwork the one running things, but in reality, Detective Sergeant Rose was actually running.
Oh, Rose, right. Yeah, that's right.
There's I did a little video on it, but I don't know that anybody really sounded like they could.
That name in a
while.
while.
Here we go. In September of last year, Capitol Security motion to join CPO's motion to reconsider and clarify. So that it's open, but basically, what I was reading was the hotel, because the hotel actually has like 3 different names going on here. They filed something and turned around. Security filed a counterclaim against them. It's a whole lot of that going on. I think Breezy is the one that's actually mentioned in here too. Let's see, Capitol Security, Senate Bill 0072. I mean, they're bringing up. So this tells me that they're getting close to probably setting. They still got some hearings to do.
Yeah,
they're getting close to getting more down. Here we go. Appearance by Robert G. And the last name is Kamenec. I had to go Google. Who is you? I don't remember at this moment who it is. These are people that are, like, one of them is an expert in hotel, but psychology, on how to. He does these training classes on how to train people that work in hotels not to get overstressed at their job. Weird stuff like that.
Okay, like a stress management consultant.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Here we go. Rule 707, statement from Matthew Rose. That was done August the 14th of this year. That was the newest one done. Okay. So
that's something to look forward to.
That's what I'm saying. I know you like to research, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go over there, pull it up, and start. You can literally just pull up on Google, like for that one there, just type in Rule 707. You might have to put Chicago or whichever court this is, because my brain is on federal courts right now, but whatever this court is titled to be, that type of thing, and it'll tell you what that laws is covering. But whatever it is, Matthew's pulling it, or they're trying to pull it on Matthew. It's a lot. There was, like I said, I want to say between a dozen and a half to 2 dozen things that I went to go researching on. People's names that was popping up that I ain't never seen before in my life.
Wow, interesting. Now that'll be definitely something to look forward to and look into.
It'll take you a minute to do it all, and then you're gonna come up with a new live. There we go.
Yeah, definitely. But what I wanted to do before I close was to actually share a case that I've been working on. How do I want to do this? Oh, the easy way, of course. Gotta do things. You gotta do things.
Hey, if we can't
on my community page, I had posted a recent posting not long ago concerning Daniel Robinson, who went missing in Buckeye, Arizona at the age of 25. This was back in 2021
Is
of
that the one where
June.
his father was looking for him and
Yeah.
wasn't getting any help? Okay, I remember you covering that then. Okay.
Yeah, so what I was able to do for folks, because I was getting commentary in regards to the police report review, I'm going to be doing the actual police report review. I'm putting together that live, and I wanted to make people aware of where they could actually view for themselves the 54-page first Buckeye police report. I put the link down here that would take.
Is that what that link to the where it says Google Drive?
You to the Dropbox area where I got it. Oh, I have it on that, right? Let's see if I can do it.
I'm cheating. I'm blowing it up on my computer
Good.
so I could see.
Yeah, so when you click that link, it'll take you to the report, the physical report itself, all 54 pages, and you can get an idea as to how this case started the investigation, who it started with, how many officers were involved, how the case was investigated, what statements were given, and what evidence they were able to collect.
And this is this an incident report? Yeah, it is an incident. Okay. It says police report for incident. So that's what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Worded
So
differently
it gives you
from state to state. Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you all of the people that were involved, all the dates, CAD calls, evidence collected, police report, police narratives, everything.
I just downloaded.
And this was just based on the first report, just the first report on how they were able to obtain the timeline to begin the case, how they were contacting the father at the same time, who they contacted in reference to the interviews, telephone interviews, evidence that was collected from the woman whom Daniel had delivered food to, where he was invited in. He worked Instacart part-time. So they put in an order, 2 bottles of wine. He was invited in. Whether we knew he stayed over or not, but that's how it unfolded. So all that is in here, along with the timeline, the crash report that was given at that time. You'll find that very interesting, and the actual timeline.
Wow.
This is Caitlin here, the investigation into Caitlin, how she was contacted, what information she was able to send voluntarily over to police pertaining to meeting Daniel, text messages between Daniel and her, and how crazy things ended up and got. You'll find a lot of very pointed details.
Some of this almost reads like transcripts too. Wow.
Yeah. So this was the first report. The second report is 128 pages. And I'm also going to be putting together another live, a part 2 to the first one I do after this one. In comparison to the first report, to take a look at how the second report evolved and what information wasn't included in the first report that is now a part of the second report. It's head-twisting information. Head-twisting.
I don't know anything about Arizona as far as like their how easily they do their FOIAs or anything like that, as far as releasing information, because I've never had any cases out that way. But just as I'm scrolling your document here, I'm seeing that they do have body cam footage and things like that. So
did you say Louisiana?
No, I think it's Arizona, isn't it?
Oh, Arizona. I'm sorry.
This is Buckeye, Arizona.
Okay, got it.
Now we haven't done a FOIA on the case because it's still an open, active case.
It's still okay. I would say, but
yeah,
I would
according to what the Buckeye Police Department says, there hasn't been any closure on it, so we haven't done a FOIA request on it yet.
That's one of the things that I learned early on when I would get like an incident report.
Yeah,
I would like take notations of everything that was inventoried as far as evidence or whatever that, and then when it was available. Now, it's not always going to get it a yes, but I tell people that do their research and stuff, try to get those things. You never know. I mean, all they can do is tell you no. But yeah, like I said, I guess out of habit, that's my eyes are scrolling down here and noticing different things that they have on here that you guys may be able to ask for later. But
right.
This has been going on for such a long time too.
Yeah, this is
they've never found his body, have they?
No,
I didn't think so. Okay.
no.
See, I did pay attention to your live then.
But this was Daniel out here. He's a field geologist who works for New Matrix Company. It's a water engineering firm that does ground well water testing. And his job was to go out and get water samples for a smart city complex costing $600 million to be built in the Sonoran Desert where he worked. And just to show you just a couple of photos, because I did promise the folks that I would give an update. This was back when he first went missing. This was a news press release that was released when he went missing on September 16th.
Okay, yeah.
This was his vehicle that was found in a 25-foot ravine on its side. All 7 airbags deployed.
Wow.
Clothes left out in front of the vehicle.
Damn.
That's suspicious.
Boots, underwear, socks, everything.
What do they call it? Thermal what? The opposite of the thermal undressing thing. You got to
right. Opposite of freezing yourself to death.
Take your clothes off. Let me ask you a question real quick, John. Have you noticed now, since you've gotten into other cases with other documents, like this thing, these documents here, the first thing that popped out to me is I'm having flashbacks with Kanika community. Oh, that's fake. That's fake because as far as like it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. But one of the biggest
I don't get that anymore. I don't get that anymore. Everybody goes, okay, John does detailed research,
because you've actually
photos and anything he can get his hands on, he's able to prove.
I can say this though, Cook County, I don't care if it's Rosemont, if it's Calumet, whatever, because it covers all them suburban areas. Cook County, everything's gonna say non-verbatim, okay? It wasn't just special for Kanika, okay? None of their stuff is verbatim at all.
Right.
So, and we all felt some type of way about that.
Yeah.
But again, this is just stuff that they're releasing to the public. They're not going to give you the whole entire real homicide case file, for real.
Right.
Maybe later.
This was the private investigator actually collecting the crash data report from the black box. Also, there's an infotainment system, which is a separate system from the black box that the Jeep Renegade 2017 has in it. So there's a double recording here. One from the crash data report, which the black box contains, and the infotainment system covered when the car was on, and better yet, time. And these are the two components that they can make a comparison with as to how far this Jeep went that day, the full day, even the day before. But you'll find in the 54-page report this information that I'm sharing with you via photos right now as to how they collected it.
You got his GPS, okay.
And what it said.
Wow.
How the airbags were deployed. Why all seven airbags deployed in this Jeep Renegade. Usually when you have a vehicle like this, it has sensors in the seat. And usually when the sensor is depressed by a person sitting in the seat, the computer indicates if this car has an accident or is impacted the airbags will deploy to cover the seat because the sensor's been activated.
Correct.
Yeah. So, we did data research on that, how they were deployed.
You can't get them in those carburetor cars, though.
Yeah, no. You can't. You definitely can't.
But yeah, I mean, as long as the like with my oldest, as long as is the upkeep on the car with all those sensors like that, because they have like you don't have enough air in the back right tire, all those things like that. Yeah, they should, with an accident like what it looks like he had here, of how he ended up in that ravine like that, it should be able to, for lack of a better term, basically play you back a little video on like
a retrace.
Yeah, just like even if it's showing stick figures, whatever you want to call it, like this is how the car flipped this way and that way. Yeah, it should be able to do all that.
Yeah,
sensors.
Yeah, definitely. So,
but I'm just shocked that it's still at a standstill. It just seems, I guess I'm assuming because we haven't heard anything as far as I haven't researched it, but I figured you'd throw it out there if you.
Well, the father is still trying to get the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department involved. Now, the area where his Jeep was found covers Maricopa. Now, the Sheriff's Department covers that particular county, but where Daniel's Jeep was found was more toward Buckeye's responsibility to cover than the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. They did what they did, you'll find in the report. So now the father is trying to work hard at trying to get the sheriff department, because he doesn't trust Buckeye Police Department because of the way they handled covering Daniel's investigation.
I was gonna say you can't blame him.
Right.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And just go. The first thing that pops in my head when you're mentioning different counties like that is it makes the case harder because they start passing the buck.
And they also put in bad words so the next team perhaps wouldn't have a complete picture, not picture, but clear mind on which direction to go.
Yeah, I mean, because like if the one you said that they didn't handle the investigation correctly, let's go back to the Kanika case. Do I put the missing persons report in with you, or do I do it in Chicago because I live in Chicago?
Right.
In Chicago. You see, that's what I'm talking about. I could see that same incident happening like this. Well, that happened. The right tires over there in their county on their side of the road. And
how you doing,
it's
Natasha?
sad to say that when in reality they just ought to be working together.
Right.
Yeah, Natasha Richardson came in and says, hi, y'all talking about technology and shit?
I don't know technology. I'm still
no, we don't know technology. We had no idea. But I'm gonna wrap things up.
That's it.
I wanted to come on.
Here. I've got. I promised everybody that I was gonna.
You going live? You going live on your channel?
No, I'm not gonna go live, but I'm putting something together that I told them, because of it being Friday morning, that I would try to have it out there by Friday morning. Which basically, in a nutshell, anybody that follows what happened with Duck is, yes, I have the audio, the dispatch calls from the radio that says, okay, guns fired, everybody here will get some ambulance, right? But the thing is that 13 minutes before that shooting took place on the same block, there was a report of another shooting on the same block of different individuals, and an officer went out there to the same store and said everything's good and left. And it was 13 minutes later is when the other guys showed up and they shot Duck. And why is it that the authorities are acting like that first shooting didn't take place when it was on the same block down in front of the Dolce Gabbana store type thing? So I'm between the statements and the police audio stuff and the lives, homemade, people's lives or whatever. I'm going to put it all together and stick it out there in the public and say, look, can't nobody say. Now, somebody holler at CPD and tell them why they didn't, why are they ignoring the fact that these guys, ultimately, the one that actually called to tell the guys to come down here to kill this guy, they were
Tall.
being shot at by somebody else 13 minutes before Duck got shot. And the cop came down there to the exact place where they were at, said everything was all good, and left. Why is that?
I think that's a distraction.
Well, I'm gonna put your channel up here so
Teasy,
that
and they took off down Michigan, you know. So, and even the reporters, they said the same thing on their news. Some of the newscasts, some of the security guards, and a lot of those security guards were off-duty police officers. So, again, why are we pretending like that first shooting didn't take place, whether it was a distraction or not? They were shooting at Teasy, so I don't see how that could be a distraction. But if it was, still, why are we ignoring it? Why is there no reports about that shooting? Because there's none. So that's what I plan on having put out in the morning.
For those that are interested in following Miss Cassie, who is the content creator.
I like you say that because you're one of the few people that actually call me by a real name.
Loyalty and Betrayal is the title of her channel. Extraordinary work on the Kanika Jenkins case, and is doing extraordinary work on a current case. You know, and you know, for those that are interested in connecting with her, real simple, hit the subscribe button, make sure your bell is on, like you see right there on the screen. And you know, definitely.
Yeah, because you know, YouTube, they have those prejudicial robots that like to not send out my notifications to nobody.
Yeah, mine too. Don't feel bad. Mine too.
Baby Daddy said they're insurgents. That's right. He calls them insurgents.
So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to drop your channel link in the chat.
Okay.
So that this way it's easy for those to get access to it. There it is, right there. And yeah, no, it's been great having you. You know, I mean, like I said, it's very rare. We will connect like this to talk is as lengthy as we did tonight, just covering.
Hey, we ain't talked in a hot minute.
Essentials that we all came from, you know.
Miss Wilson, like I said, there on my playlist, just look for the ones that say RIP, and it'll go through a chronological order, starting all the way with and it might mention some that you're not even aware of, but it'll start like with Travante, and then it go. I think I put in there Marquise Banks, which he has nothing to do with any of the hotel party, but he was a relative of Carl Nesbitt. He was killed, and then right after that was Stephen Ward in December, the first week of December. You know, so yeah, I just took it down the timeline and I did that. So you'll find them all on there.
All right, cool.
And I appreciate you, John. I'm out of here because my little
I appreciate you too, Cassie. I appreciate you too. Good talking with you, Miss Kimberly. Thank you so much for joining us here on panel.
Because I don't want to do a video about none of y'all. I got my plate full of it.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Right, definitely. Yes. Be well and stay safe. And thank you, Miss Kimberly, for joining us as well. Oh, we had a good time tonight. I did a little over 3 hours and 15 minutes, but we got it done. I will be back with starting with the Daniel Robinson coverage on that 54-page report very shortly. I'm working multiple cases still with Boss Blake and 54 Keys, and we should be coming around the corner again on the round table on 54 Keys' channel. And I'll be coming around the corner with the Daniel Robinson case, giving you a case review of the police report. And then I'll be coming back to do a part 2 for the additional 128-page report. Hopefully by then I can make a connection with David Robinson to join me on panel to cover a lot of the different information in both reports and any new updates that he could share with us in regards to his search for his son, Daniel Robinson, who went missing in Buckeye, Arizona in June of 2021, just about as long as Summer Wells went missing in June 15th of 2021. Incredible. 2 people go missing almost 7 days apart. 7 days apart, you know. But with that said, thank y'all so much for hanging out with John Q. Like I said, you know, I don't come on every day every other day, but when I come on, I do have something to share. I just wanted to check in with you guys, make sure everybody was doing good, and share with you some of the things that has crossed my table concerning what we had discussed earlier today. We've covered a small segment. Thank you, Miss Carol Smith, for sending me the Orrin and Orson West case update. It has been postponed. The sentencing has been postponed up until, I believe, the 23rd of this month. They're getting there. They're getting there. But, with all of it said and done now, it's just a matter of time to get the paper signed, get the ink dry, and, put that baby to rest in regarding those two. We still want to know where the boys are so they can have the proper burial and services that, that belong to them. Covering elements of the interview, the very short interview concerning Bree or Abriana Mays, her interview that was done on Real True Crimes, the short little 2-minute interview clip that I posted up here, and to give you a follow-up update as the discussion unfolded here tonight, and then covering this information regarding the Daniel Robinson case coming up. So, yeah, I got much love for everybody. I want to thank Miss Cassie for coming up and sharing with us her insights still on the Kanika Jenkins case. She knows that she got everybody named. You want a name, that's the one to go to. And good case coverage. And thank you, Miss Kimberly, for coming up as well, keeping the conversation alive and perking and moving in the right direction. And I thank you all for joining me for this exclusive John Q Live. I'm mixing it up a little bit, you know me. When I come on, I try to kick it, try to, spend some time with you as best as I can. But other than that, y'all have a blessed night. Be well and stay blessed with Godspeed. I'll see y'all in the next one.